Welcome to the Intelligent Idea Topic Podcast.
All right.
Did you want any, Frank? I know you usually don't drink.
Good,
Yeah,
thank you.
So good.
What?
What's up,
we're good.
everybody?
Hey, yeah. Welcome back to another installment episode of the Intelligent Idea Talkers Podcast. For the week of Saturday, February 25th, 2023. I'm your host, D.
This is Juice.
It's Frank.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, guys.
And we're back once again.
This is the first one of the new year.
No, we
Is
did
it?
one. I think this might be
No,
two.
we did.
I think this might be three. I don't know.
Yeah, 3, because
Yeah.
we did drugs.
I know. I never go back and watch them.
Yeah,
Oh,
I hate watching
Oh.
myself nowadays.
Oh, my heart, guys.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have asked.
Yeah, man.
So, guys, welcome back. You know what I'm saying? We're back in full effect again. Switched up the studio a little bit. We're supposed to have a guest speaker,
Yeah.
a homie, a
Guest host.
a guest host,
A business owner, a local business owner.
a local business owner. But she stood us up. So,
It's all good. I'll holler at you.
Yeah, the way you said that.
no. But so we're gonna do that discussion later. It was about local environmental issues. So, but right now what we're gonna talk about
EPA,
is going
you know,
over
Sounds
the
riveting.
EPA.
Data center
Riveting.
footprint.
Sounds absolutely riveting.
It sounds like an interesting conversation. Steph's always an interesting conversationalist.
Yeah.
So you know what?
So shout
We'll
outs
talk
to
about it
Greenhouse Johnson.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, man. So
so right now we're gonna talk about the recently released brand new foot in the door installment of the Marvel
Yo, shots
Cinematic
fired.
Universe.
They're putting the door. I'm like, whoa.
so this was the start of phase 4.
Ant-Man Quantumania.
5. I get lost in the phases.
Yes, the special start of phase 5.
Right.
So did you guys like it? Ant-Man Quantumania review, guys. Spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen the movie, spoilers. Right.
Absolutely.
So did you like it?
Yeah, sure, I'll go first. I enjoyed it, but so the internet has not been kind to this movie for a variety of reasons. And while I enjoyed it, I get it. I get why people are kirking on this movie
Mhm.
because this movie had a lot of problems. I think overall the movie is very mediocre, and I think people had a lot of expectations, especially with Jonathan Majors playing Kang outside of Loki, where he made his first appearance. He to me was the best part of the movie, but at the same time, he couldn't save the mediocrity of the movie itself.
Mhm.
You know,
That's a good word for it.
he was
very mediocre.
yeah, he was definitely a shining point, but he couldn't save the mediocrity of this movie. So it was while there were a lot of things that I did enjoy. It just seemed to me like the characters in the movie, outside of Kang, because it was his first movie, but the characters in the movie did not have we've come up with them through 2 other Ant-Man movies, right? And they had a lot of character growth and development in those movies. And it seems like now these characters are just kind of there, right? There was no development with the Wasp. There was no development with Scott. This is really more of Cassie's movie, his daughter. And even with Hank Pym and Janet, there was a lot more stuff going on with Janet, but we expected more about Janet, where she was just involved with a lot of mystery throughout the whole movie. There were a lot of questions. There were more questions than answers that I had at the end of it all. But there was some cool stuff. But overall, I think a big reason why also the people are really just ragging on this movie is that, let's be real, Endgame set a standard.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel
Absolutely.
I feel like both to its positive and negative, people are expecting Endgame level movies every time now out of Marvel, and they can't get to that high anymore without time to build. So at the very least, the thing I like about this movie one of the biggest things I like about this movie is that this movie is actually starting something off. Now there seems to be actually continuity happening because let's be real, Phase 4 was just all throwing shit at the wall. There was no continuity. There was nothing connecting anything to each other. There's just none of that. Now with Phase 5 beginning, it seems like, especially with Kang being the common link, it seems like now we're actually building towards something. So I'm starting to get excited about Marvel movies again, even though start of this was pretty mediocre. So that's what I gotta say.
Let me just piggyback on that, and saying that this is kind of what I've always felt about Ant-Man movies. Like for me, the Ant-Man movies have always been kind of the weakest link for MCU. Like they've been good, they've been entertaining, they're usually funny. Mm-hmm. Even this one wasn't as funny, but at the same time, I don't go into an Ant-Man movie expecting to have my socks
expecting great.
It just hasn't. Yeah. It hasn't happened up to this point. And even even when he was in the Civil War movie, like Ant-Man was entertaining, but still just like not even he didn't carry anything for me. Mm-hmm. So going to this movie, I kind of expected it. Like, so I talked to Frank a little bit about it beforehand, mm-hmm. and he was like, "Yeah, Shade Major is probably the best point," and you were right, you know. Yeah. And even though like the universe was interesting, I don't care about the quantum verse. Like, it's irrelevant to me. I agree. And like, it's like we have a multiverse now. Like the quantum verse is literally just. Like it's within the regular universe and just a smaller scale. Like I don't care. Like we have a multiverse, right? Yeah. There's only one A-body in that one, right? Yeah. So it doesn't really match up to me for the potential we've seen after watching Loki, right? When they touched on the multiple universes, where they touched on and Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange. They touched on all the multiverses and the different variations. And Spider-Man. Like, Quantumverse wasn't going to do it. And another good point Frank made was that, like, we got to allow the build-up, right? And that's kind of where I'm at with this movie, right? Mm. It was delightfully... It was visually good.
Oh yeah,
the visuals were impressive, like super good. Yeah,
that's not everything.
But like the story was mediocre. It felt like a filler movie, mm-hmm. and I think that's what it was. Mm-hmm. And Kang kind of carried it. Like
he absolutely carried it. What a villain!
When Bill Murray popped up in that jump for no reason.
Yeah, he was wasted. Yeah, he didn't even come back.
I was like,
hey, Bill Murray. You know. Like, I guess the same thing with Michael Douglas. He got OG status. You know.
Well, yeah, but Michael Douglas
was still like he was a constant. He was the old Ant-Man.
Man, you know? I'll say this much. Okay, I like the movie, and so I'm pretty sure there's probably like some scale or something that they have to like. It doesn't matter how big or small the universe is. Yeah, we have the multiverse and the microverse and all that, but they're all universes within universes. So it's like it fits the world. You know, I like going there. I thought it was cool. It looked good. It gave me like Guardians of the Galaxy vibes, like
just on the small.
Yeah,
literally.
Overall, I think Marvel missed these tentpole movies. Like this is one of your holdovers from the Avengers, and they kept referencing the movie. I'm an Avenger, and he's a seasoned hero. You are an Avenger, so like have some build up. They should have had Kang appear in Thor: Love and Thunder somewhere, like a little scene, just to add continuity. Because it's part of like what Frank was saying, that juice. Like the lead up is just as exciting. So the lead up to Endgame set the standard as well. Like Ant-Man, all these movies that were coming out, and even the first Ant-Man wasn't this mind-blowing movie, but it was a solid movie. It was better than this one, you know. To me, I had a funner time with that movie, and I think they just missed there's no continuity anymore from movie to movie, you know, and like we're missing that build up to the next thing. So it was hard to even get excited about Kang when there was no real build up. That Kang just sprung up. Even you know, Thanos had his little moments in what was it, the end of Age of Ultron, and he put his hand in the gauntlet, and you know that was like, oh,
just like little pieces,
that added to the puzzle, you know.
But that's what we're doing now, right?
But I mean, the movie itself, I feel like they didn't. It's the same thing, the same problem I had with Wakanda Forever, man. It's like I like my heroes to take a little more agency in their, especially in your own movie, right? So like he was like a side character in this movie. Like there was no expansion of his powers. There was no real leadership that he showed throughout. You know, maybe in the scene where he was multiplying himself and trying to get the thing to get his daughter. That was cool. That was cool. That was a cool scene. That reminded me of Spider-Man Far From Home, right? Where Mysterio was making him trip out. That was a cool scene too, man. And it was cool. But they didn't expand upon Ant-Man's powers. So like the Wasp can get small, his daughter can get small, you know, Michael Douglas can get small, Ant-Man can get small, and he can get big, but they didn't expand upon like what else can he do? What else can his suit do? I think there was no other powers that he showed. Even Michael Douglas commanded the ants. I thought that was an Ant-Man thing. You know, I thought Ant-Man.
He is Ant-Man.
What hero moment did he have in his movie?
That part.
Well, maybe when he fought Kang, one of the coolest parts.
Kang. You mean Scott? Oh, sorry.
Scott. So one of the coolest parts for me was when he came up on the city as like mega giant.
That was cool, but
that was cool as hell to me. I like kaiju.
We saw that in Avengers.
He was just like, dude.
Well, we saw it in Captain America Civil War.
That was cool as hell.
But he got big.
He wasn't that big.
What else can you do, man?
He wasn't that big. He was building big. He was like knocking over.
But in the microverse, so like
I think
okay, depends on the scale.
He was
big. Didn't his daughter get big too?
His daughter got big too.
I was like, what's special about Ant-Man? I don't see any kid. I'm sorry, I don't see any kid leaving this movie saying, you know what, fuck Iron Man. I want to be Ant-Man. You know, like Ant-Man is the cooler hero. You know?
We all know he's just like not Spider-Man.
So
like,
this is
but Ant-Man is not Spider-Man.
I just figured there would be some expansion of what can he do, what abilities does he have.
So this is a part of what I said before. It's not his turn anymore, right? Like his turn was at the first movie, and then the second movie was obviously the Wasp movie because the Wasp became one of my favorite characters in the MCU from that second movie.
But this
one is Cassie's movie. That's why we have her in the suit. But why? I'll tell you why. Because they're setting up the Young Avengers.
Yeah,
and she's a part of the Young Avengers. She's a part of. So they literally this movie was literally a vehicle just for her.
I feel
like this was her movie all the way.
But if that's the case, Hawkeye, don't name it Ant-Man.
Patriot, Hawkeye, Patriot, Iron Lad, which is actually
Marvel.
A Kang variant. There's actually a Kang variant.
Oh,
Iron Lad is a Kang
variant.
You have Stature or Cassie Ant-Man. And then you have Hulkling also, but Hulkling is a Skrull. He's a shapeshifter.
Right.
So
see, to me, this is one.
So are those going to be like that's from the comics or that's from
the comics?
MCU
comics.
Okay.
But they're setting up that team to maybe take the place of the Avengers. I don't know I don't know what they're going to do with Thunderbolts, but like, they're setting up the Young Avengers clearly right now. So,
you heard your boy Glenn might be in Thunderbolts.
He is in Thunderbolts.
I'm excited about that.
We just don't know who. We just don't know who.
Something Yank.
You know what, man?
Steven Yeun.
Yeah.
They kind of missed the ball a little, right? Because and the same thing with Thor: Love and Thunder. This is one of your tentpole kind of movies. So like, this is one of your holdovers from pre-Endgame, like those days, right? So like, if this is Cassie's movie, come out with just like you did with. You had the larger overall story of Avengers. Then you had an Ant-Man movie. Come out with a Cassie movie and have Ant-Man show up in it like Iron Man showed up in Spider-Man.
But it's always about handing off. It's always about handing off.
That was a good handoff. I thought that was good because
like that's definitely the routine that Marvel has to do. Otherwise, nobody kind of excels.
When they had Tony Stark in the beginning of Spider-Man, I was like, oh no, I hope he's not going to be in the whole movie. And they did it perfectly. He stopped in a little here and there, but it wasn't his movie. That was Spider-Man's movie, So like. I don't know, like you're gonna have the most draw from Paul Rudd and from Chris Hemsworth because those are the two holdovers. So like, make it their movie, and it don't. I guess I don't know. I just wanted a bigger role for Ant-Man. Same thing with M'Baku. It's one of your original holdovers. Use him. Because
who cares about Scott Lang?
Yeah, they should have made us care.
I cared about him a whole lot from the first two. Like,
and I thought he was an interesting character. And to be real, the Ant-Man I knew was Pym.
And to be real, he was the hero of Endgame.
He was.
If it wasn't for him,
right?
none of that would have happened.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, where's your leadership, man? You saved the world, bro. You kept saying you're an Avenger.
He's not only the hero in Endgame, but he was the hero in Civil War with the growing big.
Yeah,
that was a huge surprise.
I never had a problem with Captain America's movies because they always did a great job of that with Captain America of showing leadership. Like nobody ever saved Cap. You saw what Cap could do, and he did it. But he saw the problem and solved it.
Scott Lang doesn't bring to me that attitude, though. He doesn't bring to me the leader attitude.
No,
he's not a leader. This is your third movie. You're an Avenger.
He's a loyal guy who does what needs to be done if it comes up.
But you're an Avenger.
He's
have to have leadership.
He's a lighthearted. He's
Michelangelo.
So basically,
Falcon had leadership.
And I hate to say this, but it's like in the Flash, Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
With the Flash, with that scene, you said you never saw it, right?
No.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh man,
Flash was a hero in that movie.
He was the hero.
Yeah,
he was the hero in that.
At
movie.
that moment when it had to happen, he didn't hesitate. Boom.
When I say the hero, I don't mean like the leader, the person who took charge.
Yeah,
I mean the person who saves everyone.
But that's a leader though, because you do what has to be done in the moment. You don't hesitate.
It's not about leading. It's not about leading your way to that position. It's about doing what it takes to save everyone in the moment.
That's a leader. That's a leadership quality to me.
It's a leadership quality, but it's like the situation demanded it.
Well,
so they're immediately the first person that steps up. Right? Again, look at Endgame. If it wasn't
the only time Ant-Man had that moment in this movie is when he punched Kang.
The only guy who can, right?
I'm talking specifically for Ant-Man. Specifically for Ant-Man, he didn't have that moment where the only time he had that moment where, hey, I'm gonna step up and do what I need to do in the moment. That's a leadership quality to me. And the only time he had that was when he fought Kang. And somebody brought up like if he would have got trapped in the microverse at the end of that, remember she had to come back.
So
that would have added some stakes to it. Like,
so he got trapped again. So let's talk about that real quick, right? So actually, that was supposed to be the original ending. After test screenings, they rewrote the ending to make it more positive.
Yeah, because everything was hunky-dory.
Ant-Man and Wasp being trapped in the quantum realm, like you said, would have made the movie like 25% better.
Yeah, it would have added.
I thought that was going to be it.
Like I was like, if that's it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is real, right? And like they're stuck, and hey, guess who got left behind? Guess who's back in the regular world? Maybe trying to find them or whatever. Cassie.
Right.
Which she leaves her room to take the mantle of Ant-Man.
Yep.
Right? You know, she's like, so they rewrote that ending. And I was just like, yo, if they had just kept it right there, I would have been like, okay, this movie is just like now, like you said, there are stakes now.
It would have added something to it,
Like, you know, Cassie would have had purpose. She would have spent her time trying to go back and find them and taking up the mantle and giving her drive. So yeah, no, I agree with that.
I thought they were going to get trapped, and
like it didn't close.
Yeah,
and then they somehow. Boop.
Yeah,
like, how did you open it again?
Like she just
wait a minute, what?
She just like found them immediately, and I'm like, it just like
I thought
just
this was
washed away everything.
All the stakes that were before it closing. They were like, it can't.
They didn't even need to fucking fight. Like,
open it again?
Like Kang, like you know, they used to fucking fight Kang. Yeah. You know, how did she know that they defeated Kang? You know, like what was she gonna do? She just opened the portal again, and Kang could have just stepped right through.
Were they? could they not open another portal if they got? What if that portal closed? Could they just open up another one like the next day or something?
Yeah, at this point.
But
we got free access.
I think that's the point. Though. It's like, you know, it should have been something that should have taken like years.
Yeah, one day would have been like 5 years.
Like, and Cassie should have been like working tirelessly to try to bring him back, but it would have been something that should have taken years, not seconds. You know, like it's just like
you gotta ignore them rewrites, man. Like sometimes, man, you gotta fight the urge.
Sometimes just keep the ending dark. You know, maybe that's what this movie needed.
What was the point of having nobody is going to see Marvel movies for a lighthearted ending? At this point, after Endgame, after the snap,
the
and everybody went. Everybody was invested at that point. The snap, everybody's like, "Oh shit, this is real."
Mm-hmm.
But there's that expectation.
They killed Spider-Man.
There's that
in front of us. Like this is real.
Yeah. They killed Black Panther in front of us.
Everybody, yeah.
Everybody,
oh my God.
Gone.
Nobody felt good.
The original
at the end of the movie, everybody walked out of the like
the only person.
Well, we were all standing at the end of the theater waiting for the end credits.
It's like, yo,
right?
It's like, yo, what happened?
This is hurt.
It's like, yo, what happened?
We lost?
Yeah, like everybody. Yeah, real talk.
Seriously?
Like,
Did that movie have a post-credit scene? It didn't, right? Infinity War?
I don't know.
I don't remember it did. Because
I'm
I think
sure
it was just so
nobody left.
depressing.
Yeah.
I definitely sat there.
I'm sure
I
nobody
sat there
left,
too.
yeah.
I was just kind of like, I was just sitting with my thoughts. I'm just like, did everybody just fucking die? What the fuck? What's happened?
Looking around.
Yeah,
Avengers
they're gonna
Endgame
make the
release date.
mistake of trying to make everything a happy, like bright ending. They're gonna.
There has to be some stage,
end up
especially
like
when you want
this,
to build
like-
continuity in a universe and like movie to moviness.
You want-
You know,
like there's always going to be some levity in Marvel movies and Disney also. It's necessary, but at the same time, people want the dichotomy,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Like we want to be invested, and that has to have stakes.
yeah.
I just, I like, I don't defend it because I would have preferred the original ending, but like, I get why they may have done that because again, it's an Ant-Man movie. It's very lighthearted. It's very like comedic, so it's like, keep the tone the same throughout, right? Like even though Kang was a threat and Kang was like a villain, right? They got rid of the villain, but at the same time, you don't want a movie of this nature to end on a dark note. It would have satisfied us.
I guess at the very end, when Lang was sitting at the table, and he was having that kind of panic attack.
that was good.
That
I
was
like
good.
that.
Yeah,
I like that.
was a little bit added. That
Like when he was walking through the
enough.
street,
But
he
yeah.
was walking through the street where
He was like,
where he was just like, wait a
I
Did
minute.
I do this wrong?
He's like, wait a minute, we did kill him, right?
Mhm.
Or we did. Like, is he gonna come back? But wait, he said that if we didn't stop him, he said that if we did stop him, then it would be just so much worse because there would be more of him that would come. Oh my God, did I just kill everyone? He's like, nah, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
He's like, it's fine.
I think that the Kang post-credit scene kind of did a better job of establishing the overall stakes than that. But that they did try to add that. Yeah. Him questioning. I finished it, right?
So
I
want to bring this up. Is the Conqueror really dead?
That Kang is dead.
How?
But there are others. There are all those others.
Yeah, but like
It's
the
not-
Conqueror is the dangerous one, right?
No.
Can Ant-Man punch out Kang?
Again, just remember he's a regular guy. He's just a regular dude.
He's got power.
He's just got the power. He's got the ability to travel through time.
Well, wasn't he like
goes forward in
phasing
time.
and floating on this little force field thing and all
All
that? Like,
technology.
did they do a good job of
Technology.
showcasing his power?
He has no powers.
Yeah.
Remember when he choked
He's a scientist.
them in the
He is a
cell or something?
scientist. He just has no powers. He's using all
I
technology.
don't know anything about Kang, but like, remember when he choked his daughter? What did he do to his daughter?
You like levitated her and turned her sideways.
What was that?
Technology.
Yeah.
Gravity.
Force field technology.
I mean, I guess I don't feel like
in
I don't
comic
feel like
books, technology is magic.
yeah. I don't feel like I don't
None
feel
of
like
that
the
makes
version
sense.
of
They
Kang
jump
that
into
we saw
multiverses.
in Ant-Man. I don't feel like Ant-Man could punch him out. You know what I'm saying?
He's a
It's
regular
almost
ass
like-
dude.
I
I mean,
buy
like
Captain
Jonathan
America.
Majors, though, he's a
Hey,
Yeah, like Paul Rudd not punching
like
out.
Paul
Jonathan
Rudd. Like, I'm
Majors,
just
though.
like, nah, that's not gonna happen. We know that's not gonna happen.
I was training for Creed. What?
I could
And
buy-
you
I
saw
could
him
buy-
doing boxing moves when he was fighting against Scott at the end too. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, like he's prepping for Creed. He's giving him
Yeah.
the
Scott got a couple tags in, you know what I'm saying? Scott wasn't no chump, you know. He
They do
you know, he
dancing.
got in there, you know. Yeah, everybody's in that joint. Yeah, with the little, you seen the little meme, yeah.
like the slips.
Yeah, like I buy Captain America punching out Iron Man, but I don't buy Ant-Man punching out Kang. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Tony
Like,
Stark
it's
gonna have
just-
a glass jaw though, man.
but he was in the Iron Man.
in
So, I mean, what kind
okay,
of
fine,
alloy and all this and that? But I still buy Cap. Cap can do it because Cap's, you know,
Cap Super
yeah,
Soldier.
Cap can do that. But yeah, it was a good movie.
All right,
Like-
hold on. Back to Kane though.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Nah, you're like so. I thought Kane the Conqueror is the one I'm most familiar with. Kane the Conqueror is the one who
Oh, that's right. Okay.
who
I'll let you
conquers.
finish.
He comes about and he lays waste and he whoops people's asses. Like, I mean, I don't know his story super well, and I know there's multiple versions of him, but the Conqueror is at least the name that's always stood out to me.
So
Like
that's
that
a cool,
guy
it's a cool ass name.
So
man.
Kang the Conqueror.
with the lines on
I'll
his
let you-
face.
I'll let
Yeah,
you.
no, that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
So Kang the Conqueror is a shared title with all of them.
Oh, they're all King the
They're all
Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror.
I thought they
They
all
go
had
by
different
now. They
names.
go by.
They're all
They do go by
Kangs the
different names.
Conquerors.
They do go by different
Kangs is the
names.
Conquerors.
They do go by different
Conquistadors.
names. The conquistadors.
That's like a group.
No, they all go by different names. Like you have Immortus, you have Ramatet, you have the technological one. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I forget his name. The one with all the one that looked like a cyborg that we saw, or an android that we saw. I forget his name, but like they all go by different names, but they all are Kang the Conqueror.
Oh,
You know, even the one who remains at the end of time is called Kang the Conqueror.
Okay.
They're all Kang the Conqueror. Now, one thing I wanted to add to what you're saying. Pay attention to what he said, right? With the whole like, if you stop me, I'm the only one that can stop what's coming.
Yeah.
Right. The one at the end of time said the same thing. If you stop me, if you kill me here, I'm the only one that can prevent what's about to happen. It's going to be so much worse, you know. And then I'm not going to say what happens, but because you didn't see Loki, but like, you know, the whole fact of the matter is, pay attention to what he's saying. Pay attention to what they're saying. They were the least bad of all of those Kangs. They were the least bad. This Kang and Ant-Man got exiled because they thought he was a bitch. They thought he was a little bitch.
I thought he was exiled because for other reasons.
No,
yeah,
he was
right.
exiled.
They're not a benevolent society.
He was exiled. He was exiled because they thought he was a little bitch. They thought that he was like too soft, right? Like he wanted to like because he was just like y'all because he's like they play with time like children, right? So he was obviously complaining to them, saying like, yo, what are y'all doing? Why y'all being so stupid with this time? Like, I want to do this my way. I want to do this a different way, the smart way. And they're like, yo, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here, right? Get the fuck out of here.
Explain why he was exiled. Yeah.
So you're trying to play over here.
So that's why they exiled him, because he wasn't with their methods. He was the least bad of all of those other Kangs. Now he's gone. He's not only is he exiled to the quantum realm, but now he's gone. All these other Kangs are just gonna fucking run wild, and the MCU is fucked, dude, because he can literally insert himself into any point in time and do whatever he wants because he has the technology to do so.
Yeah,
even to the point of bringing all of his own alternates together, to rally.
Yeah,
to just conquer the universe because he can. That's what he does.
See, I think to take it as that overall threat, like Kang himself, you would have to have that previous knowledge of who Kang is. But I feel like they didn't do a good job in this movie of establishing exactly what Kang's is the Conqueror's.
Well, again,
is capable of.
I think that's
why they missed a chance to plant little seeds in movies before. The Shang-Chi, they could have had a Kang variant or something in there, like just like a little seed in there.
So that's the thing. That's the thing.
He's popping up in different times.
This is just the beginning, though. That's what I'm saying. This is just the beginning. We've seen this one now in literally, and I hope this is correct, but in literally every single MCU property moving forward, we will see a variant,
a different one
of Kang, and it's going to be a different variant. And we were talking about this before, but I'm like, this is part of the appeal, because we're going to see Jonathan Majors put on a fucking acting class, dude, like a master class of acting. Yeah. He's going to play a different personality for the same guy in all of these movies and TV shows.
The problem with that is I've seen a lot of their upcoming movie lineup, and I'm like the Marvels and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to see any of this stuff.
Marvels looks dope.
I mean, I don't know.
Like, I'm already a fan of Rambeau, and Miss Marvel's dope, and Captain Marvel's great. Like, they're gonna
step it up. Yeah, heroes. They're gonna step it up with binary. Binary.
No, that's only I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I think it's gonna be dope if they really let them do their power shit. It's gonna be on point.
Oh yeah, Monica Rambeau is ridiculous,
top tier, power.
Like ridiculous powerful. Like Captain Marvel,
like her power is light essentially.
Yeah. Like Captain Marvel,
and
it can be done well. Yeah, I think it could be it could be good. I don't know. I just don't know what they expect from it, and they've been disappointed.
You know what you can expect? Kang variant is gonna be in there somewhere.
So, yeah, I got attached to this Kang. Like, so overall, I guess I could see why they didn't establish this Kang as big of a threat. I did think he got a little more like
He's definitely brought
generic
order
as
to
the
that.
movie got on, because he was very imposing in that cell scene where he like choked Cassie or whatever.
Oh,
Yo,
yeah,
when he walked up
like
and
you felt the threat.
Moldog
Like,
started
shit,
talking, he was like,
yeah, he was
not
just
to
like,
talk
and then
in
he
my
said
presence.
exactly, and I was just like,
boom.
But then as the movie went on, he kind of it wasn't as
You think he
imposing
softened
anymore.
up?
It wasn't as scary. Remember, even when I am Kang, like in the trailer, they made that moment look like, oh shit, he's about to fuck some up, and he didn't really do that at the end. He just he mowed through the little army they had there, and then he got punched out by
a bunch of people.
I don't know. I just think like it would have been cool if he could have escaped with that army. That army was cool. I mean, he built himself. That whole city was his, right? At the end, Kang.
Yeah. He conquered. He did what he was supposed to do.
So yeah, I mean, the city was dope. I like the technology.
That jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, like, did it? You know, do you think it mattered that he killed a bunch of people we didn't care about?
No.
You know, like, because I didn't care about any of those people at all.
I didn't care about any of those people either. But it definitely would have added weight to his character but they killed him anyway, so it doesn't matter. Also, are you sure he's dead? He just got sucked into that little fucking battery thing. Isn't that just another
like
smaller verse?
Portal?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, but
like, I feel like isn't that essentially where Ant-Man and the Wasp were when they popped out with the
No, they were in a portal.
Where they got
I thought they had it blown up or something, and
I thought that thing was a result of that battery thing being combined. Like, wasn't that battery just expanded?
You're right.
So he got sucked into that. It's just back into that.
Back into the battery.
Yeah. So he could essentially just pop out some other time.
He could still be alive. He could definitely still be alive. I just think there is still, especially with, you know, the other three variants talking before they went out to the whole, like, you know, stadium full of Kangs, whereas, like, you know, like the exiled one is dead. Yeah. You know, and it's like it seems like they have that connection. I would say at the very least, and it's definitely implied, and I have no idea if that's actually true, but it seems like they have that connection that when he died, they knew that he was gone. So
yeah, because there was no message or anything,
right? Because again, these are variants of the same person, so it's not like just a part of you dying. It's like
kind of like the one
you die, you know, yeah, with Jet Li, yeah.
It's like,
you know, like
got a little bit stronger.
It's like, you know, when like a big part of you or all of you dies, you know, and it's like they seem to be unanimous with it. It's like, yeah, he's dead. Mm-hmm. So that's why I took it as he's dead. But he could definitely come back somehow. I don't know, but
you know, Marvel movie man,
right? Comics.
Yeah, comics.
No one's ever
really dead.
Yeah.
Couple other points, man. Like Michelle Pfeiffer was kick ass in this movie. Shout out to her because she was definitely
looked great too. And she's like, pushing 70, and she looks so good.
She's still imposing. She could carry. I didn't buy her doing a leg sweep and like a clothesline on somebody, but I was like, okay, that's definitely a stunt double. But she was take charge in there, you know. She did what she had to do. I was like, woman, just tell them the problem. Okay. Yeah. She was like, I'll tell you when we get there. You know, no, just tell me now. Turn around and tell me.
It was just too much mystery. I thought.
Shut down that signal. Don't send that signal there ever. Why not? I'll tell you later.
I'll tell you later. Tell me now.
Whoa! There's an evil guy down there named Kang who we don't want to mess with. We don't want to release him. You know.
And
so,
that kind of annoyed me too, because she waited so long to tell that story. And also, we didn't get to see Kang until like an hour into the movie, like almost halfway through.
I was fine with that though. It wasn't his movie; it was Lang's movie.
It's Cassie's movie.
It shouldn't have been. It should have been Lang's
I feel like it was just as much Lang though. Like,
I mean, he was still the main character.
Yeah, like they followed him through the whole thing.
Did any of the humor land?
Did we ever go anywhere with
Did you laugh at any of jokes?
Oh yeah. I laughed.
My theater didn't laugh.
We didn't go anywhere with Cassie, right? Like, I felt like we spent the entire time. It was Cassie and Scott, or the others. Mm-hmm. But they were even Wasp.
The other Wasp,
but they didn't really do too much.
They didn't need either Cassie or the Wasp in this, right? Because everything Cassie did, the Wasp could have did, or vice versa. Like they wasted both of their characters. Like,
I was the only one that can fly. I'd be like, look, I know we got the technology now. You have to share.
Maybe Wasp could have hung back and
I'm not
figured out.
But I mean,
and then come in at the end and save him.
Remember, he uses flying ants to fly around, where the wasp just can fly.
I'm sorry, flying ants.
Because she was
back.
Because
you know what? My back.
Because I had a problem with Ant-Man and the Wasp because she kept carrying him. Like she was flying and she was holding his hand and carrying him. I'm like, man, get an ant, man.
Well,
no,
that's
Ant-Man, man. You got
an
an ant. No,
I mean, that's their whole thing, though.
You ain't got to fly and carry me in my own movie. You got me by the hand and fly me through the air.
My movie.
No,
I should be flying.
Let me go. I got my own power. Look, I'm falling down, and you gotta come catch me and shit. Like, no, I'm gonna call an ant. The ant won't come catch me.
Put me down.
Put me down, man. Carrying me around and stuff.
Put me down.
So I got you. Yeah, I know.
Reginald, I need a ride. Reggie, I need a ride.
That's what I said. They didn't do a good job of expanding Ant-Man's powers. Like, what else can you do, man? What else can you do? You get small, you get big. There's no.
But that's all he can do.
It was cool that she was learning how to
learn something and did not incorporate
the Ant-Man punch.
Hey, Tony Stark didn't
I
get
thought
any
that was
ideas, and Hank Pym
Like, there's a secret behind it,
incorporate
like jump and tap.
Hey, Hank didn't upgrade your suit at all to include this or that, this gadget or that, Remember he had the little things that he put on like a bomb.
Let's be real. There is literally nothing else Ant-Man can do. There's no other powers. He goes small or goes big. That's it. Nothing in between.
Ain't none of these kids dressing up as Ant-Man unless they go there and all the other suits are sold out.
The quantum realm itself opened up all the possibility that you're looking for, and there's not much.
It was bad.
That's it. Like,
hey, did it throw you guys off when they kept taking the helmets on and off every time, man?
Yeah.
Cassie,
especially in the first two movies especially the first movie, he rarely if ever took it off.
Every sentence, and it's like, okay, I get it. If these actors are going to take these roles, explain to them. We have to go.
The fact that
have screen time.
The fact that every helmet materializes out of nothing. For everybody,
that's nanotechnology,
and
that's Tony Stark.
Practicality, I guess.
Tony Stark made that shit popular. Black Panther used it. They're using it. Even Spider-Man's using it.
Spider-Man? I get tired of Batman pulling off that cowl every time he comes in the cave, man. I'm like, God damn it. Like, I don't buy that. So you're surviving a stab wound to the neck by taking this cowl off. I guess it could be some, fiber cowl, some kind of a microfiber mesh material that, it just looks rubbery, Get this rubbery ass cowl you're taking off. But yeah, they kept taking off the mask, man. It was pulling me out of it. Yeah. I was like, dude, stop that. I know it's Paul Rudd. Okay?
It took me out of it because it was that whole not unwritten, but spoken rule where if you're in the quantum realm, or even if you are shrunk, if you're small, you don't take the mask off. Mm-hmm. You don't take the helmet off. Like, so what was that?
Oxygen?
Yeah, like what was that? Like, so now because they threw it away. Why are there people? They threw it away with them saying with Hank saying like we should be dead. Or no, Scott saying we should be dead, and so Hank's like, why aren't we? And I'm like, why aren't you? And there's no explanation.
Can you can you breathe an oxygen molecule when you're that small?
A bacteria that's the size of a building.
Right. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Run.
I don't know. Like it just seemed there was a lot. Like that whole thing was just was left unanswered, and it's kind of like, okay, we're just gonna have to accept it.
I like the ants running at the end. I liked all the technology throughout the movie. Like
the ants to talk.
Kang's army's technology, it was cool. Everything looked good.
We have come back. Mm-hmm. We have come to save you.
Right, because I totally forgot about those. That was a cool.
And they always think of themselves in plural.
It was a cool callback.
It was cool, but I totally forgot about that. I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, the ants. Most people did in the first one. I was like, shit, they did.
It was something that you weren't supposed to notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, well, damn, they've been down there for thousands of years, huh? God damn.
In a single day, it's 1,000 years. Like, what? Damn.
They built a whole civilization down this joint. Like, so how did Kang not know about them? Like, he's been there all that time. Like,
shit happened yesterday.
Yeah, I guess.
It's true. It happened in one day.
Really?
Yeah.
No, those ants couldn't have been down there because Scott was down there for
1,000 years.
Scott was down there for 5 years. He said it was 5 hours.
5 hours, yeah, that's right.
So
no. That was that level of the quantum realm. This level of the quantum realm was much deeper. Yeah. So it seems like this level of the quantum realm works the same exact as
when did the ants
up here.
What movies did the ants get sucked into the quantum realm? Was that the first Ant-Man? Because that's been
No,
more
that
than
was-
a day.
no, that was this
It was
one.
just
Really?
this one at the
It was this
beginning
one
when
at the
they
beginning.
got sucked in. The ants in that ant farm also got sucked
They
in.
got all sucked in.
So Ant-Man and Michael Douglas and all them are 1,000 years older.
No. The whole that whole time dilation theory is only applies to the ants that got sucked in,
Wow.
not to the people. They lived because they lived
Different
1,000 years. They lived 1,000. He said they lived 1,000 years in one day. So
all of them did.
all the ants
Just the
did,
ants did.
not
So
the
where did
people,
the ants-
not the people, not Kang, not anything. So they were literally there just one day, but in that day, in that one day, they lived 1,000 years. Their sense of time was 1,000 years. So in 1,000 years, they were able to make all of that.
So Michael Douglas called them. He called them. He summoned
They
them.
were
at the
calling
end.
him.
Yeah.
Right. They were sending a
found
signal to him. Right.
They found him.
So, I guess it depends on just how far away were they? Like, what spot did they come from? You know, like I guess once we cross over this particular line, you gain 1,000 years versus lose 1,000 years.
I don't know if it's that deep. I don't know.
Like,
if
did
it's
they
that
come
deep.
from deeper inside the quantum realm?
No,
I could buy that.
I think this is also one of those.
I
things
could buy
that's
that because they were
unexplained.
advanced civilization.
I think it's one of those things that is just left
It's
unexplained.
like, how did you?
Because like the ants
live
live 1,000
years.
1,000 years, but like
Uh-huh.
but the people who just get there, it seems like it's 1 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a day here is a day down there. So
Yeah.
like, what's
Which
that
is
about?
like messed up because like
It might be about biology. Like it could be
Mhm.
just that, you know,
I
that's
still
how
don't know
they
why they're
experience
humans
time.
down there.
Yeah. Where did they come from? You know, like other beings.
Apparently
and
they're
everything.
not human though.
It was cool.
You know,
It was cool.
I did like the whole drink the ooze thing. That was funny.
That was
though.
funny.
Yeah,
That was funny.
a lot of the
'Cause
jokes
that- 'cause,
fell
like,
flat.
the universal language translator and all that. I thought that was pretty funny.
I know not a lot of people laughed in the theater I was in, especially the dick joke.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah, I'm not a dick.
Don't tell me you didn't laugh at the part where he died though.
Only because of his face. His face was all
Nah,
blown up in
dude.
the joke.
Nah,
I
the
was like,
part
okay.
that was just
Kinda silly.
horrible.
I liked him though. I
But
thought
it
he
was for
looked- I thought he
comedic
looked
effect.
cool.
But it was all for comedic because every
I
time,
was surprised
every
that
time any of the characters
ended
I
up
was
being MODOK.
like
Mhm.
Darren, holy shit, what happened to
Right.
you? Like
Darren.
Jesus Christ, what happened?
I thought his face was funny.
Nah, the part where he died though, it was fucking hilarious. Like, you've always been like a president to me, Scott. And he's like, we were? He's like, I guess we were. He's like, and I'll always know that I died an Avenger.
Yeah, that
I
was
fucking
funny.
lost it. Come on, that was funny. I thought that was hilarious.
I remember that, John. I don't think a lot of people about that. It wasn't funny.
It's like,
You know
I
what the
died
MCU
an
misses, and I know it's
Avenger.
gone.
He's
I
like,
know-
yeah, you're in.
I know it's gone, but that like snarkiness of Tony Stark, you know what I mean? Like I think Paul Rudd is capable of that, but I don't think they let him do that.
He's not because
But that's not his character.
No,
Yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
not-
but
that's not
Tony,
Ant-Man's
Tony was just so
character.
Tony didn't joke
Or-
on purpose. He didn't say corny jokes. He
He's
just
not
had that
mean.
snarky kind of smart,
Well,
you know,
that's
quick
because
wit
that's
thing,
because
and it
he's
was just
a
like
genius.
that's what the humor was.
Well, that's because he's a genius, and that's his type.
Even
of...
though Chris Hemsworth had it in Thor Ragnarok, I thought Chris Hemsworth was very funny in that.
oh yeah,
That was funny.
but Love and Thunder was just
Mhm.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
That's
they
too much.
why they it was goofy spitball stuff at
It
that
was
point.
all jokes all the time.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
it was just like you can let
Yeah, I
Chris
need to-
Hemsworth be funny. He's a funny
let
guy.
him be serious
Yeah.
too, though.
Thor Ragnarok did a perfect balance of that. I thought like they Love and Thunder was stupid.
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna be done when he did
Why?
that splits and stopped the fucking rockets at the very beginning. I was like, oh man, this is gonna suck.
I still never saw it, but
Really?
Thor Ragnarok, man. This is part of the very beginning of the movie.
Dude,
First
just,
5 minutes.
just watch it, just for the sake of
two
just for the
guys
sake
are
of
flying
watching.
at him. He does the exact splits and stops them with his legs. You know, like just stands there for like 5-10 seconds. You know, I'm like, what the?
Yeah,
what is this?
There was literally
It was
not
like Kung
one.
Fu Hustle shit.
Yeah,
There's literally not one
this is weird.
serious. There's literally not one serious thing that came out of his mouth the entire movie.
Yeah, it was weird.
It
I
was
think the
so
most serious
stupid.
thing that yeah, okay.
It was
yeah,
so
yeah.
stupid, man. It was such a
Mhm.
bad movie.
Why?
Yeah.
Who directed that shit?
Same director as Ragnarok, Taika Waititi.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Taika, and he
Me
did the
too.
voice of
He's
Core.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taika
Yeah.
Waititi was.
The thing
Korg.
is, I think they let him
Hey,
because
man.
of the success of Ragnarok. They let him run amok,
Mhm.
and so he's like, "All right, I'm just going to turn this into a full blown comedy." And it's like that's not quite what the direction that you want to take Thor, because Thor is still a god, right? You
god.
still want to make it like serious in some respects, you
And a
know,
character with depth.
like they like
He's
the,
not
like
like
the
the
part
others.
the part where they went to Mount Olympus. They went to fucking Mount Olympus and met with like Zeus and the other gods, and it's like you expected like, oh shit, there's gonna be some kind of real shit here. Fucking all jokes all the time there, even with Zeus.
So yeah,
And I'm
definitely
like,
with Zeus. Yeah, I was looking forward to him coming out. I was like, Russell Crowe, like there's gonna be
as
some weight
Zeus,
here.
Zeus, right?
Yeah, as Zeus, fucking Zeus.
There's gonna be some weight here.
What is this? Like it was just all, it was wasted.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a waste.
Yeah,
and even fucking Lady Thor, Jane, what a waste.
She looked cool.
She looked really cool.
Great, like
she looked really
story.
cool. She looked really cool, and they went with that story with the cancer, but like,
and they just
waste, complete waste, especially with the whole catchphrase business. You know, her trying to. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Come on, guys. You know, I'm like, this woman is dying. Like, what are you guys doing here?
Are you guys excited for Guardians of the Galaxy?
I'm very excited for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I saw the trailer. Let me think.
I am very excited for it.
They were all in these colorful space suits. Like,
I'm with it.
I'm going to
see it, but I'm like,
I'm more excited because like someone's going to die.
I think
it's going to be Drax.
Yeah,
it's going to be Drax.
I already know he's trying to get out.
Because he was serious in the trailer. I'm like, Drax ain't serious all the time. I'm like,
Drax,
he had these like serious quotes.
I'm pretty sure that, there are rumors floating around, but Drax will absolutely fall to Adam Warlock because it's fucking Adam Warlock, right? Adam Warlock.
But they're fighting Adam Warlock.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is not Adam Warlock a good guy?
He is, but not in this one. Not yet. And that's fucking bad for the Guardians of the Galaxy with fucking like regular ass humans and aliens. Low level humans and aliens going against fucking Adam fucking Warlock. Yeah. My man has a soul gem on his head.
Hey, Drax got his ass whooped in the first movie too, man.
No,
he
like
fought what's his name?
This is going to be a legendary ass whooping.
The guy with the hammer.
Ronan.
But they put the beats down on Drax, man.
Oh no, this is going to be a legendary ass whooping. Like Adam Warlock.
I didn't see how they can even go up against. I almost don't buy them taking out Quill's father in the second one, man. Spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, even though that was cool, I liked the second one. I didn't think it was as good as the first one. No, but it was hard to meet that bar again. But you know, I don't know if I'm excited for this one, man. I'm like,
that's
I don't trust it. I'm still gonna see it. I love Marvel, you know.
I'm definitely more interested in the story with Rocket and the High Evolutionary. And the High Evolutionary creating Rocket and like that whole story, especially with the Otter, his friend in captivity. It seems like it's because it seems like they're alluding to Rocket like either leaving or dying as well in this one too.
I think what's lessening my excitement is they haven't done a good job of their holdover movie their characters like Ant-Man, like Thor, right? Like. So the movies, everything after Endgame is like that point where, so that's the start of Phase 4 after Endgame, right? So, you know, they've had the Spider-Man, No Way Home,
that carry over your linchpins, right?
And they haven't done a good job of like building up off of those movies. And this movie should have a Kang variant in it, like the Guardians of the Galaxy one, just somewhere, just to have something, a little tidbit, a little morsel in there.
You also have to be mindful though that they are trying to save a lot more. Like you might not see Kang as much as you'd like in like the movies that's a follow, but you're going to see a lot of him in the Avengers, the two Avengers movies that they have planned. So it's like that. This seems like they're saving a lot of him for that.
You know, they should though. Yeah, I'm still going to.
They probably shouldn't jam him into places where he wouldn't be relevant.
Well, if he has different variants, he's relevant everywhere.
I mean, it could also be.
But they're from the multiverse. We're all still just dealing in the main verse.
There was a stadium full of Kangs, so like
you have to travel to that verse.
But there was a stadium full of Kangs. Like, so do they all meet up and they go back to their own verses?
Why would they all travel to that one verse?
How many Kang is infinite?
Yes.
So there should be Kang somewhere. We should have ran into Kang movies ago. You know?
Like, the question is, where is the main King for the main verse?
So it's like it's like Darkseid, right? Because Darkseid doesn't exist.
But there's a King for every verse. But
they're a part of different. No, there's not one main guy. Now, don't.
No, not main guy. I mean, because like 616, 617, 618. And each of them has a King. Mm-hmm. Where's the one for 616?
Okay, so here's what's gonna bake your noodle. Let's say all of them. So again, all of these Kangs are all different variants of each other, right?
Yeah.
What if there were that many Kangs for just 616? What if all of those Kangs were 616 Kangs? They just came from different timelines within 616.
Oh, that's right. Because we're dealing with
time and
not
space.
multi.
Exactly. We're not dealing with multiverse.
Right.
We're not dealing with
It's all
multiverse. We're dealing with time, branches of time.
That's right.
So all of these Kangs could possibly just be for just 616 or whatever the MCU designation is.
Wait a minute, though. Because every line break off from the main line gets a new, like,
you were the one that
name.
watched Loki, or you were the
I
one
watched
that,
Loki.
You watched Loki.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they branch.
So
and they have to destroy the main to get to take off the variants.
You remember
right?
the very end of Loki? The very end of Loki with the new TVA? And you thought there was only one TVA?
All right.
And it turns out that there's another TVA that was created by the one who remains at the end of time?
Yeah. Vaguely, but yes, I do remember them popping up.
So just think about that, right? Think about that. Think about the fact that if there's another TVA, how many other TVAs do you think there are? And within the one TVA that we were following, how many different timelines were within that one TVA that they traveled to? So which means in one place, in one designation, whatever the MCU designation is, all those variants could belong to just this one space, which is whatever the MCU is. Do you understand now?
Yeah, that makes sense. And
it's
that's also really messy. Jesus
it could get really messy.
Like
it can absolutely get really messy.
Imagine them trying to
because technically
whittle this down into a story.
because technically they're all
everything's gonna have a counter.
Because at the same time they're all the point of origin, but they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you are gonna have to whittle it down though, because you have to have a main.
I think they're gonna whittle it down to those main three. Mm-hmm. You know, Mortis, Ramata, and the other one.
Yeah, because they showed them for a reason. I was afraid of this Kang though. I thought he was very imposing at the beginning.
Like this Kang resembled like this one more, right, with the green and the purple,
and the lines on his face.
Hey, all their suits back in the original comics were definitely kind of silly though, by like modern day standards.
Hey, Marvel is keeping consistent with that. I think they do a good job of that. They're putting comic accurate suits on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them don't work.
Some of them don't. I'm not bad. I'm going to take over the world.
I think DC does a good job of that too. You know, because you have to. Perfect example, Captain America, when he put on the very bright blue and red spangly outfit versus his Winter Soldier outfit, which was more like muted, darker blue and gray. This is modernization of it. You know, you have to tone down the color a little bit, but I appreciate the comic accurate.
Yeah, me too.
I thought Jonathan Majors looked very badass, and
I thought the suit was
in that
fresh.
movie. And they could have had him on the cover of Ebony. You know what I'm saying? As Kang, but, you know, we'll talk about that when it's time.
You jumping? Oh.
Yeah, okay. Now we got to touch on the Flash. So overall rating for Ant-Man, Quantumania
out of 10.
Yep.
I'll give it a cool 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a 7 because it's like an 8.
I was thinking 6.8, 7.
Makes me like, wow, I would want to watch that again. I would only watch that again just to watch, and I would just fast forward to the Kang part.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care to go through any of the rest again. I just don't.
I'll watch it again. Yeah, I was going to say 6.8. By that measure,
I'd probably give it a 6.
Mm-hmm. I'm usually more in line with IMDb and over Rotten Tomatoes. I know Rotten Tomatoes' score was terrible. I don't even remember what it is, but I think IMDb gave him a 6.6. Yeah, I was going to go like 6.8, 7. You know,
it was cool. I also give it a cool 7. Like I said, there's stuff I enjoy. There's stuff I did enjoy about it, and I do like the fact that this is actually starting some sort of continuity again, which Marvel desperately needed. So.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I didn't hate the movie, but I wasn't overwhelmed by it, or I wasn't wowed by it. So
yeah,
you know, I'll give it a 7. Yeah. Cool 7.
So upcoming movies, man. We touched on Guardians of the Galaxy. What about the Flash? Are we excited for the Flash? When does the Flash come out?
June.
Is this just going to be a Flashpoint paradox?
Yep.
I think so.
The entire plan is to reset the DCEU. So this is going to be the movie that resets everything, which is going to explain no Superman, no Wonder Woman, no whatever those other losers in the Justice League.
More multiverse.
So after all this Black Adam stuff, everybody's seen Black Adam. Spoilers for Black Adam, okay? Superman shows up at the end of Black Adam. Like, and you already told us that you're discontinuing Henry Cavill as Superman and you're trying to go a different direction. So now you're showing Ben Affleck and I'm forgetting the actor who plays the Flash. What's his name? Yeah. So that obviously is his movie. But why should we care if you're not going to continue any of this? Like the Zack Snyder Justice League, especially, but even like BVS and the first Justice League have a flashback to post-apocalypse Superman and Batman. No, it didn't.
Briefly,
BVS, man, I want to see that movie.
BVS did not Justice League.
Post-apocalypse Batman coming out trying to survive and. Because I feel like that's
Let's
what
create injustice.
It should have. It kind of swirled all this together. It should have. And if you're not going to do that, why should we care about moving towards?
Now they're completely it's moving towards injustice.
Why should we care if you're not going to do any of that? To me, So I'm going to see it, obviously, but. Same thing with Aquaman. It's like here, you're not going to continue any of this.
Shazam's coming out. Nobody's going to watch it because nobody sees a reason to watch. There's no reason to watch Shazam.
Nobody cares.
I'll probably go see it. I'll be bored.
Well, you'll be the only one.
I'll take my son on like a Saturday. Let's go.
People aren't just going to watch a hero movie. Marvel set the bar high, and DC hasn't floundered that badly. Until now, and it's just like, why would anybody want to waste their time and money, $20 a ticket to go see some shit that's not going to matter, right?
I think DC's actually been pretty consistent.
Unless they somehow twist Shazam into being relevant for everything else, I can't imagine how they would do that. Because
I was telling Frank before the cast,
there's not even one Shazam. It's a team. It's like Power Rangers. So I don't know. What is happening?
I was telling Frank before the cat, it'd be crazy if this movie saves the DCEU.
It would be.
It'd be crazy if this is probably one of the best movies of DCEU's lineup. Like, this movie tops. This movie's better than Aquaman. What if this movie's better than Aquaman?
I heard Aquaman has some bad.
Oh, I heard Aquaman has some shit, dude.
Holy shit!
I saw that article.
What is happening?
You talking about the second one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I like the first one. Yeah, the first one was cool.
No, they're saying that the second one. They're saying that the second one is some real trash, and that Jason Momoa is apparently upset about it.
I can understand. I could trust Jason Momoa, but I don't know about the executives at Warner Bros. Because they thought that Zack Snyder's Justice League was trash and needed to be refined.
They have some fucking problems.
They always, and BVS had a bunch of reshoots, right? So
they need some real artists. They're like
they don't know what's going on,
trying to figure out how to make a good movie. Like, no, stop, you messing up. Like, stop talking to your lawyer about how to make a good movie. Like, you need some fucking art students out of fucking grad school, man.
Go talk to the DC animated team that work in the same company as you guys.
I was telling my friend at work, man, I think the animated team gets a lot more freedom to stick to the comic book accurate, in the adult scripts.
Animated,
because you're making it
away with.
Animated has a different target audience than a movie. A movie is probably a bigger budget. Them animated movies are expensive too. I'm not sure the budget money and all that, but the movie you have to appeal to a wider audience, so you have to be lighthearted and funny and campy, and where the animated movies can just be, Under the Red Hood, like Batman and Batman, the Son of Batman, and all these animated movies that come out with Reign of the Superman was dope. Like
I should watch the Green Lantern, John. That was called one with Jon Stewart.
Yeah, the black dude.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, all their animated movies are good. Superman. Shoot, man, All-Star Superman.
All-Star Superman.
That shit was dope.
Beyond Return of the Joker was great. That to me is still one of the best.
So All-Star Superman, so like he's dead. I did not feel good at the end of that movie. Spoiler alert: All-Star Superman. Okay.
All-Star Superman's a very old story.
So it is because it was like a book or something, right?
Yeah, it was a comic. It was a comic a long time ago.
But yeah, I was like, he just died. He ascended into he just energy. He just light. Like, did you? Yeah, I'm not spoiling
that Superman.
I feel like I've seen it. It's just been a long time.
I've read. I've probably read that story. I probably read that story 50 times. It's to me one of the best Superman stories ever.
Yeah, it was good. I never read the comic book, but I saw the movie. It was good.
Like I think the comic just delivers on a much deeper level, like a much deeper emotional level, as far as you feeling connected to the fact that he has. That he's dying because he's about to fucking literally explode.
You got time to flesh out how he feels. Like after Civil War, you let me borrow the Civil War comic that was all in one book. You said you found that on a rack or something.
Graphic novels.
Yeah. So that was way more emotional than not more emotional because
It was just
Captain
it
America
was
fucking lied.
more in depth.
You
it was
betrayed my
more in-depth.
trust at the end of that movie, Cap. All right, I'm still mad at you about that shit.
You're mad at Cap? Why?
Damn it, you got to tell Tony. At least tell him, okay? If you're gonna protect,
about his parents.
if you're gonna protect Winter Soldier, fine. But give him the information and the chance to make a decision and a choice, okay? You withheld that from Tony Stark, your friend, okay? You betrayed me when you did that. And I appreciate that.
You make a decision sometimes.
Well, getting back to the Flash.
Yeah.
So I am not. So there are so many reasons why this movie shouldn't exist. There's so many reasons why I should not go see this movie. But like,
You're gonna go see it, don't you?
I'm gonna go see it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go see it just because like it's just astounding to me. Well, I mean, the biggest reason I'm gonna see the movie is Michael Keaton Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. Like
but
that's it.
Talk
Like,
about
Spider-Man
cheating.
No Way Home
Talk
did
about
that
cheating.
greatly.
like if there's a way to get me back into watching a movie like that, and I'm like,
he had some dope ass scenes in the trailer, right? And I was like, yo, this is Michael Keaton, man. Like everybody had that damn movie.
I'm almost offended because like
the first
went
Batman
directly for like the heartstrings.
yeah, they went for nostalgia straight up.
Yeah,
like
they and they threw it in the trailer. They
Yep.
threw it in the first trailer.
And they had the fucking
You didn't
music.
even
They had
tease
the
it?
iconic
Like,
you
music
have
thing.
to sell the movie. So like,
They had
this
the
is where my
iconic
big
music
draw.
playing while he was doing his Batman thing. I'm like, oh shit. Well,
Everybody had in their collection that VHS tape,
The
all
audacity.
black,
Of course.
with that gold Batman symbol on
course.
that joint, man. I think I still got that shit at
course.
home, man. I had that shit since I was like
Of course,
6 years old,
I wore
man.
that tape out. As
two
a
of the
kid.
all-time Batman movies are the first one and Batman Returns.
And the second one.
That shit is under. I think didn't Tim Burton do that? The
Yeah,
same guy did Beetlejuice,
Yep.
right? Yeah. So man, that Batman Returns is one of the best Batman
Like
movies. It's up there
Batman-
with the Dark Knight,
like,
all that.
That Batman was my first exposure to Batman.
Mhm.
Period. Like it wasn't the comics; it was Tim Burton's Batman. And then I followed up afterwards. You know, I'm like, I need to know more about this Batman.
Yeah.
So the fact that like
I
fucking
remember
almost
for me,
40
it was
years
just
later, they're bringing him back. I'm like, well, shit.
And hey,
That's gonna be the reason I'm gonna go
way
see
to go,
this movie.
Michael Keaton.
Right.
But like staying relevant in the hero franchise, man.
Yeah.
They out here being vulture.
He did. He
He
was
was
He's out here
badass
playing
in
bird
Vulture, bro.
people. He's out here bird people straight up, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, he was
Birdman,
badass in Vulture.
Birdman,
Vulture.
Vulture.
When he
And now
turned
he's
around,
Batman again.
I see you, man.
I'm
Like,
like,
he's out
man.
here like
when
He can't get away.
he for the culture, man.
He can't get away even if he wanted to.
when he dropped off the daughter and Peter Parker at the dance, and he turned around and had that gun in his hand when he pointed at Peter. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, that is Michael Keaton don't play.
Yo,
Right?
he
Before
said
this-
he's like, I'll kill you. I'll kill you dead.
and everybody you care.
He's like, I'll kill you
Damn.
dead.
You're like, dude, I was right, man. I'm webbing your face right there, bro. Oh no, you ain't getting away with that. You gonna do what to my eye? Slip right in your face, man. I'm gonna disarm you and I'll take you down right there, man. So yeah, but the problem with that is Spider-Man No Way Home set a standard for that, like the whole multiverse bringing guys back. So I hope DC can live up to it. I hope this movie is great.
So that's the thing. Like apparently from like years ago,
Mhm.
or like a year ago at the very least, apparently the test screenings for this movie are off the charts.
Yeah.
They're saying this movie is fucking phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, I wanna see it.
Yes.
The trailer got me excited. I was
That's
Like,
why
like,
they.
focus-
That's why they couldn't get rid of Ezra Miller, man.
Well,
mhm.
that's not only that. It's not only that. The
They're
movie
like,
was
we got
already
gold.
finished. The movie was already finished, and it
okay.
tested so well. It was going to be a Christmas movie.
I'm thinking
For
you got
God's sake.
Ben Affleck and all
Like,
this, and I'm like,
I'm talking like
what's
right
happening?
around December 25th.
Mhm.
Like that close. It wasn't going to be like the beginning of December. It was going to be a fucking Christmas movie. But because of all the shit that went down and the delays, and now it's coming out in June, because I think they didn't want to be kind of like tied in with all the movies coming out in May.
Mhm.
Although there's going to be a movie coming out every week in June, which is crazy. But dude, like Batman, the movie's apparently amazing, and from what I hear about like how the movie's going to shake out, I'm excited to see how this is going to reset everything, because you saw the latest trailers, right?
Mhm.
So you see the fact that there are two Barrys.
Mhm.
So apparently one of those berries, even though it looks like they're pals throughout most of the movie, one of those berries is going to wind up being the Reverse Flash.
Yeah, I was thinking, is he going to be in there?
And that berry.
Hold on, enough.
What's his name?
No more.
Okay.
Okay.
You already got me.
But isn't that cool?
Yes.
Isn't that fucking
crazy.
cool?
What's the Reverse Flash name? Eobard?
Eobard.
Yeah.
Eobard.
What a cool name. I remember that.
Eobard.
And I will also say that Eobard Reverse Flash Dawn is the pettiest villain in all of villaindom.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere, the pettiest villain in all of villaindom. Like,
he is a bitch.
He was very badass.
He is super fucking petty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is the dude that will like impersonate Barry just to fucking like try to get with Iris, just to fuck shit up with Iris with Barry,
Just to fuck with
him, just because he's the fucking pettiest villain in all of pettydom. So anyway,
yeah,
you see two Barrys though, you know that's a recipe for one Flash is gonna be good, one Flash is gonna be not good.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how that shit plays out because that's fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm hyped up for it. I just hope they do.
Yeah,
and also, while we still on the first Batman, I'm sorry, but now the first Batman was way cool, but I mean, come on, the Joker pulled a long ass 6-shooter out of his drawers and shot down the Batwing. Like when you go back and look at that again, I'm like, where'd you get that cannon, bro? Where was that at?
That scene lives rent free in my head like every day.
Bro, he pulled his long. That just
I think it had the sword slink on it. Especially with the it had the sword swing. Yeah. It did have the sword swing noise.
Yeah, the little noise.
Like he was holding it like this. It's like, man, he's gonna balance that shit.
It shot down the Batwing.
It shot down the fucking Batwing. Like,
man,
he shot down a fucking jet coming at you. At how many miles per hour?
It was so
he was
cool.
like, boom, perfect hit.
It was so cool.
Shit went down, and the longest crash ever. You see him going like, that's in the Batwing. I'm like, dog.
Even though that's a classic. Heath Ledger had a better version of it, I guess, with the whole bat cycle thing and the Christian Bale one. Hit me, do it. You know
I think that was. I wouldn't say that was better, but it was definitely an homage. I wouldn't say it was better because that scene is classic.
Yeah, it is classic.
It's classic.
It's like Batman Returns, but he I think the Batmobile's like there's some enemies behind his truck, and the thing comes out the bottom and turns the Batmobile around, and he burns them with the afterburner and shit. Yeah, just classic scenes like that,
This classic.
Yeah,
dude,
Oswald Cobblepot falling into the water at the end, and the penguins kind of carrying him, and just these classic scenes, man.
The beginning of the second movie was very sad, though.
Mm-hmm.
When with the couple throwing Oswald as a baby over the fucking. I'm like, dude,
right?
That's crazy.
Hey, Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, man. That's
And Michelle Pfeiffer was cool in it.
Oh yeah.
I heard Jack Nicholson sound like some big it says like a licensing contract or something that he signed with the first Batman, where like he's still making residual money off of that movie.
Yeah, of course.
Didn't he sign some kind of license agreement with that he signed with the studio?
Yeah, right.
So like, he still gets paid. He signed some great deal
because I think a part of that was, if I'm not mistaken, that he basically said the Joker is mine.
Mm-hmm.
That no one else will play the Joker for X amount of time.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it ran out way before Heath Ledger came along, but you notice Heath Ledger was literally, if not from Mark Hamill as animated, I don't think that counted because they didn't expect an animated series to happen. Because that happened like 5 years later or 3 years later or something like that. But anyway, fucking Heath Ledger came along in 2008, right? And the first Batman movie was 89.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost 20 years. After the fact.
Hey, Heath Ledger was like, see a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. I'm like, damn, no blood, anything. No.
The guy comes to attack him. He's like,
hey, the guy didn't scream in pain or anything. Like, damn. That shit's gone.
Like,
the dude's not screaming.
He's like, no, because the guy was just dead.
Yeah, it was definitely a magic trick. And then he was like, he threw his hands up. That's it. He's like, damn. He was cool. Man. He definitely made that pencil disappear. I was like, damn. He was John Wick before he was John Wick.
That dude.
That joke was tight. He was walking out the hospital.
He's like, oh, ooh. He's like, oh.
He was walking out the hospital, and the fucking remote, the joint kind of blew
And
up.
it wasn't
He was like,
working.
yeah.
He was
He
like-
started
he was
hitting
like-
it and shit. And then when it went off, he got scared. He was like, that was a good movie.
Holy crap!
He was up there with Jack. Jack Nicholson's still up there with him.
Oh, I mean, I actually thought he was better than Jack, but like Jack Nicholson again, classic, iconic. The first Joker, like Cesar Romero was the first Joker we had, but Jack Nicholson like made that shit. Like he basically made the Joker. Like he set the standard for the Joker to be like the serious, fucked up villain that's been written in comics afterwards. Like instead of just a fucking like clown, right? Like he cemented the whole like I mean, Joker was already Batman's like biggest villain, but like not in this way, So Jack Nicholson is like iconic, and he set that standard like hard for the Joker to be like the Joker, a name to fear, and not to just laugh at.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the Flash, man. John Wick 4 coming up.
John Wick 4. I'm so excited.
Although I'm a little nervous after that because the third one got a little
long,
too kung fu-y at the end.
Yeah.
Like I didn't buy Keanu Reeves being able to take out these guys. They seem more spry than him and more like they took it easy on him. They could have killed John.
Those are the dudes from the Raid, and I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, I'm like, they could have killed John Wick 10 times.
Those are the villains from the Raid 1 and 2. I'm like,
they let him get up and let him walk over to him, and I'm like, John, you'd have been dead.
Because like we're such big fans.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that makes me a little worried. But I know it's gonna be awesome because I like Keanu Reeves, and I just like the John Wick franchise overall.
My man Donnie Yen is gonna be in it, dude.
Yeah, that's
Donnie. Like Donnie Yen appears in the movie. You're like, oh shit,
because they're gonna try to get Keanu Reeves to go toe to toe with him, and I don't know if I can.
Right.
I like
Donnie Yen's like walking around like Dante from Devil May Cry. He's got a sword and a gun. And I'm like, what?
even though John Wick is a 3, was it 3 or 2 where they were fighting on the motorcycles? You know what I mean? They had the sword fight on the motorcycle. That was one of the most. That was one of the most original fight scenes I've never seen a sword fight full speed on a motorcycle on a highway. You know what I mean? Like that little snippet, little minute long clip of him fighting on that. It was cool. It was really fast, but it was cool, man. Like that. I was like, wow, I've never ever seen that in any movie I've ever seen.
My favorite part of John Wick 3 was the part with Halle Berry was amazing. She really fucking came into her own. And then the part in the hotel. Yeah, the part in the hotel. When they were taking out all those dudes with armor. Oh yeah, she was so good.
Yeah, she was doing
so good.
Stunts.
Yeah, like she was doing her thing, and I was very surprised. But like the part in the hotel,
I don't know about all of them, but she was doing a lot of the shooting.
She did most of the training.
They have a video of her and Keanu Reeves training before the movie. Yeah, so they were doing all the target practicing.
And the fact that she had the dogs, like she used the dogs as basically like projectiles too, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I want to see it. I just, I think a perfect villain for John Wick's style of the franchise was Common, man. He's so underrated as a villain. And I thought he was going to come back, man. I was like, come back in the third one because he let him live. The blade is stuck in your aorta. You pull it out, you will bleed.
You'll bleed. So, I mean,
they
there's still a possibility that he could come back.
Yeah.
It'd be like the blade still inside.
Well, in a weird way. You got to get somewhere where you can pull it out. They can stop the bleeding. So I imagine from that moment he left him on a train car, he was going to.
They told him you'll bleed out in minutes because he won't have time.
Well, he said if you remove it, he said if you pull it out, you'll bleed and die. So I guess if it's in there,
he said in minutes.
You got to cauterize that.
Yeah, in minutes. And I don't know if any doctor can do that.
I don't know.
Look, only main characters can survive a wound like that, which would give
they
him
didn't
all
show
he
him
needs
die.
to come back in.
That's a classic trope of movies.
Well,
they didn't show you die. You might not be dead. Just like Kang.
I told y'all how I feel about Common in movies, right?
He's kind of plastic.
Nah, I just feel like any movie he's in, like if I'm either kills a movie for me. Just
really?
Oh, absolutely. Common.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Any movie I see
the freckles.
Any movie I see him in, I'm just kind of like.
He was cool in Terminator Salvation. He's a side character, but he's
all right.
Like,
why?
I think he looks good.
He just takes me out. He just takes me out of it. Like for some reason, I see him like especially. Come on now, like in John Wick 2, for example, he's like the Black John Wick, right? Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be the Black John Wick, and I just saw him as fucking Common, and I'm like, you suck. Like you fucking suck, dude.
No, I like him, man, and he was honorable, as a character. You know,
Like he was supposed to
just
be like
protecting
you
his
could tell he
ward.
was supposed to be John Wick's equal.
Mhm.
Like and they were setting him up to be that, but it's kind of like
He was supposed to be John Wick's equal, but John Wick beat him. So he's like
Hold on,
not as
because
good
it's
as
not like
John
Keanu
Wick.
Reeves got the range. It's not the range, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Keanu Reeves' acting range is that.
Keanu Reeves' acting range isn't all that, but I'm talking about like Common in
He doesn't
general.
have development.
Common in general for me, like that's just talking about John Wick. So I'm talking about like all the movies Common is in, like whether it's a side character, somewhat of a main character, like Wanted,
Mm-hmm.
which was Wanted, or like Just Right, where he was one of the main characters, right?
A basketball
like
player.
Queen Latifah. I always love
Mhm.
Queen Latifah, but like
It was good. It's like a love movie.
but like
She was
he's in that, and I'm just
it was
kind of
good.
like, he's supposed to be in New York, Nick.
But I think one of his
hanging
best,
around like you're fucking like 5'4".
one of his best
hanging around with
portrayals
these-
and like most natural portrayals was for me John Wick 2, and I thought he slotted in well.
It
He
was like character's regular attitude always seems pretty like stoic.
I thought he was cool. It's John
Like,
Wick.
I've never
is stoic.
seen him like boisterous.
I think that whole world is supposed to be stoic, right?
Anyway,
Like there's nobody really boisterous and
Nobody
John
knows
Wick.
a John Wick.
Yeah.
No, again, it's a
maybe
it's
Winston every once in
it's a me thing. It's a me thing. I see him in a movie, and I'm just like shit. And I'm like, all right, well,
Mhm.
I'm done. It takes me out. It didn't.
Now
make
everybody's
me,
got their character.
It didn't make me enjoy. It didn't make me not enjoy John, or it didn't make me enjoy John Wick 2 any less.
Mhm.
But it's just the fact that he was there. I was just kind of waiting for that to be over.
For me, I'm in a way kind of seeing other characters from Game of Thrones in another movie.
In other movies,
Oh, kind of.
you
does
see a
that for
whole
me.
lot of that now, man.
Yeah, it's always like
You see a whole lot of that now. Like a whole lot of that.
People
Fucking
get-
Last of Us.
People get
Yeah.
typecast.
The Last
Wait
of
a
Us.
minute. She's okay.
I think they're
'Cause
doing- I think
no,
they're
she's
both doing a
good.
job.
I
She's
didn't.
good.
I don't. For her, it doesn't do the same because she wasn't the main character.
Yeah.
Like, but
They're both doing a
Uh,
good
So
job.
Pedro Pascal was in the Game of Thrones also, was he not?
for a
Only
second,
for a
before he got
season.
his head
Yeah, for
crushed.
like an episode or
Like,
two.
for,
yeah.
I mean, like the main characters,
Oh,
like
yeah,
Jon
yeah.
Snow,
Yeah.
the Arya,
Arya
Mhm.
Stark.
yeah. Like those. Every time they pop
Sansa,
up my screen, I'm
yeah.
like
Because Sansa was in X-Men.
X-Men
Yeah.
and Young Mutants had
New
Arya.
Mutants. New Mutants.
Yeah, New Mutants.
Yeah.
I thought Sansa did well as Jean Grey though.
I did too.
I thought she did
I
okay.
thought she was
fit the
fine,
bill.
but
She looked good.
every time it was like,
But you see, yeah,
you
but
shouldn't fuck with Jeffrey, man.
John
They,
You
Wick.
just
they
see-
tried to tell
but
you.
you
They
just
tried to
kinda
tell
like-
you.
I remember my mom used to hate Joffrey. Man. Like,
Yeah, you
fuck
should have read
Joffrey,
his
man.
mind, huh?
She should have pushed him off that damn bridge when he made her go look at Ned Stark's head on that pike, man. Okay?
Oh,
It was
God.
mad as hell, man. Said that was Ned. That's your father. I was
But I
like,
mean,
what?
but I mean, you see
Push
like,
that motherfucker over there.
but I mean, you see like Sean Bean in movies. Like he's been in movies before Game of Thrones, and he was only in Game of Thrones for season 1, but still, like he's in movies all the
part
fucking
of-
time.
Yeah.
You know.
But he always gets like destroyed. Wasn't he in this like medieval move where he had like the pox or the plague or something? They ripped him apart by horses at the end. I was like, yeah, that's very
He
That's
likes-
also a
he
thing
likes
with
dying
him
in
in
yeah.
movies.
He's
Though.
like getting
Yeah,
killed in
he's
the movie. That's very
always
Sean
dying in
Bean.
movies, dude.
He was
Always
dying
in
terrible.
movies.
But dying
He's
horribly and
006 in GoldenEye. Fucking, he got
Yeah.
killed in that movie. He got killed in that movie. I'm
Hey,
just like,
even the
dude.
movies he didn't die. Wasn't he in The Martian? But he got
Was he in
fired.
Martian?
Yeah, they made him retire. Yeah, because he informed the crew that Mark Watney was still alive on Mars, and that made him do.
Oh, that was
maneuvers.
him. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that was Sean Bean.
It was a
Okay.
political death.
He got in trouble. You know, he was like, "You over announce your resignation
That
tomorrow."
was
I
the
like,
death of
"Damn."
his career.
Yeah, he
His
still
death of
died.
his
He wouldn't
reputation.
even die. So.
And maybe what followed,
His reputation died. You know what I'm saying?
maybe what followed is physical death.
Yeah, he committed suicide.
Yeah, I guess maybe is that all the upcoming movies, man? Like they were all still cool.
No,
though.
there's a lot of upcoming movies.
I didn't see
Like,
any trailers for the that came up on Ant-Man. Just because like they started the movie late.
Let me see. They show Flash.
Dungeons and Dragons, which I'm excited to see that.
It looks good,
I
but I'm
want to
like,
be. I don't
very
know that much
campy.
about Dungeons and Dragons, other than
It just like, even if you don't know much about it, it just looks like a cool fantasy.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Let me
like
just throw this
fantasy
out there.
something like
One movie that I really wish they had like done the sequel to was World of Warcraft, man.
Really?
I like that, Joe. I like
Yeah.
the art. I like
I
the
never
main
watched
actor.
it, so I don't know. I heard it was not good though.
those whole kind of conversions to movies like The Last
It's hard.
Airbender and all that. It was just kind of cheesy, you know.
Oh,
Honestly, I think
the Last
it was.
Airbender and World of War. Like, let's not talk about Last.
But they were just
Airbender.
kind of cheesy. That was so
bad
disappointing.
on
Yeah,
a
that
whole
was
nother level.
terrible, man.
That was bad. But
Like
Well, World
the
of
Fire
Warcraft,
Lord and that shit. I was
they
like,
had the
It's a
orcs. The
game.
orcs looked dope. Like the fights were dope. For the fucking giant griffin fighting, and
they
there
had
was a
the guy-
wizard fight at the end. I thought it was great.
they had the guy
I
from
think it was
Vikings
just
in there.
timing.
What's his name? The guy who played the main Viking on the show Vikings, man. I forget his name. Ragnar Lothbrok was the guy's actor's name, man. I don't know. But he was in World of Warcraft. I remember I went to the movies to see
They had McAvoy was in that jump. James McAvoy.
Nah, man.
James McAvoy could play anything.
He can play anything. Like ever since
He's
I saw
a
him in
chameleon.
Guy's name. I gotta look
Split.
it
Split.
Yeah, he's a chameleon, dude. He can play everything.
up. Mhm.
Yeah, dude.
And he played Professor X. He played Professor X for
Split
like
was
all
dope.
those X-Men movies.
Split.
That's
He was also good.
I
in,
loved him in that movie. He was dope in that movie. And Zoe Saldana was the orc,
Mhm.
the orc chick in that whose name I forgot, but
Yeah.
that was dope. She's always playing something green.
Yeah,
Yo, Split was good as shit. I'm
Split
still
was
waiting on
really
a sequel to that. Like, where's that
Glass.
sequel at?
Glass.
Gotcha.
See, I forgot all about Glass because I hated it. They
Yeah.
didn't do a good job at that
Glass
shit.
was whack.
Yeah, man. I remember that. I think I went to the movies to see that because I saw
Me
Split at
too.
Redbox and I went to the movies.
I was
to see Glass.
excited. I was excited because I'm like, yo, M. Night Shyamalan, like maybe you
Totally
have
forgot
actually got
about
something.
Glass.
Yeah, Glass is a sequel.
No,
to
he's
Split.
true to himself.
Yeah,
He is a good actor though, man.
I still haven't seen Cabin in the
Split
Woods
was dope.
yet.
That's the Shyamalan movie?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
good in Atomic Blonde
What
too.
is that about? I don't know.
I have no idea. Like
Mhm.
I have
Everybody
no
talking
idea.
about it.
I have no idea, but everybody always
I think it's
because
based off a
the
book.
thing about his movies, like all of his movies have great concepts and people talk about them, gets them to the theaters, and then it falls flat. Like I saw Old, right? I finally saw Old after a while, and I'm like, yo, this concept is fucking wild, right? And it's just a horrible fucking movie. I
Split
like,
was
what
so
the fuck
good.
is
You guys
this?
gonna make me go home and
There
watch
was
Split.
another
Split
there was
was
another
really
movie.
good.
He did damn, I can't remember the name
Am I
of it.
Shyamalan?
Yeah. And it was like such a dope setup. And again, true to character.
What was the premise?
They were at like a like everybody at this like a hotel or motel lived at this motel, and they all had like weird quirks about them from like fantasy like stories. And I don't remember, but all I know in the end, like there was one guy, he was like one really strong side, right? That's one thing I remember. And it was so cool. Like one person like a part mermaid, and she spent all her time in the pool. And there was some like issue going on. All I know was at the end, I was like,
what the fuck is this?
Why did you do this?
Yeah.
What happened? Why
Yeah.
did you kill this movie? It was so the concept was
all
so
of his,
good.
that's how all of his movies are. Great concepts, great premises, but then when you watch the movie, you're like, what the fuck? You're mad at the end because you're like, you always drop the ball. Always.
He did
Avatar
Avatar
on
Last
purpose,
Airbender,
right?
right?
He did the Oscar,
Mhm.
yeah.
The what?
Say again?
He did
Last
Avatar,
Airbender.
man.
Yeah.
Say
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
I liked it at the end. I liked him doing the tidal wave instead of the whole fish thing. But the fish thing in the animated was cooler. It's definitely way more dramatic. Definitely way more showcase of his power.
At this point, it's on purpose, right?
I don't know, man.
It's got to be. It's been 33,000 movies.
He keeps getting like he keeps making
paying him.
movies.
Where did he get the money from?
I don't know.
Because everybody hates his shit.
Dude,
There's not a single person out there who's like, you know who I
The
love?
thing is, don't discount how popular The Sixth Sense was and still is. You know, like one of the biggest plot twists of all cinema, right? Like, oh my god,
And he did do
he was a
Split, didn't
ghost
he?
all along. He did do Split, but I mean, like between that and
The
Split,
hit record is terrible.
the terrible record. The only maybe decent movie that he had in between that was Signs. And maybe Unbreakable.
Signs was his?
Yeah, Signs was and maybe Unbreakable. People liked Unbreakable too.
I like Unbreakable too.
But like outside of that, like Lady in the Water, The Village, all those fucking terrible ass movies. Just why? How does he keep doing it? How does he keep making movies?
Somebody loves him.
Like
Somebody's
millions of
funding him.
dollars. That's why I'm like, Sixth Sense had to have been
Fucking Putin.
Sixth Sense had to have been the movie like that. Just put him on the map somehow.
Mhm.
Or he knows something that we don't know because he's still like he keeps getting these like bloated budgets for these movies, these projects, and he fucking fails every time.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
his
that
track
hit
record
rate
is
is-
terrible. Like
Okay. A couple movies from M. Night Shyamalan. Glass, Split, After Earth with Will Smith. That was pretty cool.
That wasn't his, was it? No way.
It has a credit on it.
That was a terrible movie.
It wasn't bad. Will Smith wasn't. Yeah. The
It
Village.
was terrible.
The Village.
The Village was not good.
alright.
I liked it. Okay.
Yeah, Signs, Unbreakable,
Signs was
Sixth
good.
Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Not really much. He ain't really do much. I
It's
doubt
not
this
more
is
than
all
that.
it. Yeah.
Or maybe it's just the bad ones are so bad it makes
Sorry.
it feel like it's more.
I said Cabin in the Woods. That's another movie. Knock at the Cabin
Yeah.
is his
That's on
movie.
there. Unbreakable, Signs. I think I saw Signs back in the day. I can't even remember, man. Glass was so terrible, man. I remember I was so mad. I was like, I came to the movies to see this shit.
I was so excited for Glass because Split was so good.
Yeah. Like at
But
the end,
then,
when he
like-
climbed on the wall at the end of Split, you're like, holy shit. Like, you need to shoot. Did she shoot
Yeah,
him?
my man
She
fully,
shot him
my,
with the shotgun,
my
right?
man
Yeah.
fully embraced like the Beast
Yeah,
personality.
that beast, man.
The
I was
fucking
scared
fact,
of that
the
motherfucker.
fucking fact that this dude played like 5 different personalities consistently,
Yeah.
but he had 23 living inside of him. Like 23 different personalities living inside of him. I'm like, yo, this guy switched on a dime between
Mhm.
personality. I'm like, dude,
The beast was cool.
it's fucking wild.
Yeah,
And then-
McAvoy is a goat off that movie by itself. Like that's
Oh,
crazy,
yeah.
dude.
And then Glass came along, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was just all about the Beast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So yeah, I guess that's it for like upcoming movies. The new Star Wars game's coming out next week. As a side note,
When's it come out?
next month, March, right?
Okay, yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that.
I was meaning to go back and play the other one, but I'm still playing every
You haven't
other
played
game
that joint
in
yet?
history. No, I have it.
Oh, yeah.
I beat it. I just wanted
it's
to
a
go
short.
back
It's
and
not a
replay it.
long game. It's just very imaginative. The story was cool.
I died
I'm
a
like,
lot.
where are these? Where are your writers for the video games and the animated movies? Where do they come in actual movies, right? Because like the Fallen Order video game movie to me was way more interesting of a direction to take Star Wars than they did with like, The Last Jedi and what's the third Star Wars movie?
The third sequel.
Yeah,
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. Yeah. Which they
Yeah,
all
but those
look
are
good, but I
different.
just didn't like that.
The time was way off though.
Yeah, but that was just such a more interesting. If you saw they followed the story of Cal Kestis instead of going with
Skywalkers.
Rey, like in the very first Force Awakens, right? Like I get it, you try to draw out the nostalgia, the Force Awakens, and you wanted to rehash the old characters and bring in Harrison Ford and all that. Which one of the most dramatic moments was when Kylo stabbed.
Yo, real talk, man.
I was like,
Like,
damn, man. I was
at
in the movie.
end,
Like,
what was the last
God.
movie called?
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. I was like, I really like Adam Driver, but like Kylo Ren was a great character.
Mm-hmm. I like
Like
too.
he was such a good character,
Dude,
man.
I think
Like
he was so wasted.
that
Dude.
thing is like complex. Like I want them to do a story, flesh him out. Like I want to know everything. Like we
I
know a
don't-
little bit, but
I
I want to
don't-
know everything that
So
happened.
to your comment, I don't think people realize like just how true your comment is. I don't think people really understand. Kylo Ren is like one of like as
The
far as
whole thing
like
too
with the
was crazy.
Force,
Yeah.
like he's so in tune with I think he's like the strongest Force user I've ever seen
Yeah.
in Star Wars. Like because like remember the part in the Force Awakens in the beginning?
was crazy.
Starkiller.
Starkiller's also not canon.
Starkiller's not canon
Yeah.
though. But
He was OP as hell.
but at the same time, like you remember in Force Awakens,
Mhm.
remember at the beginning when like you just see an example of his power where I think it's someone shoots a bolt at him, like a lightning bolt shot at him.
Mhm.
He fucking freezes the shot,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
freezes
yeah.
the bullet, and then he holds it there, puts his arm down, walks over, and has a full conversation
That was with
while concentrating on the fucking bullet.
that was in the first one, right?
Yeah, that was in Force
Yeah,
Awakens.
That was cool.
Like while having a full conversation with somebody else while holding the bullet there without keeping his arm up. And then when he's done with all that, he lets the bullet go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how fucking mentally strong do you have to be
Like
in not only in the Force, but just generally to have to do those two things at the same time?
I hated that he died at the end. Like I wanted him to survive just so we could have like something more, like a great redemption arc for this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
that would've
technically
been
he did
so
have his
great.
redemption.
He did, but like more.
He was
More
definitely
than-
one of
You
the,
kill 1,000 souls, you save 1,000 souls.
he was
Something
definitely
like
one of
that.
the more
But
compelling
anyway.
characters in all those movies. Like his character arc
I
was
just-
just you were
I-
following it.
I do kind of agree.
More
with-
invested in that, almost in Ray. You know,
I do
No,
kind of
definitely.
I do kind of agree with like most people's first like assumption of him though, where it's like it's just a Darth Vader fanboy, you know, with like the same suit,
Mhm.
Not
you
untrue.
know, like the same suit, the same like, you know, I want to be just like you, grandfather, and you know, I'm just like, okay,
Not untrue.
you know, I'm like, you could be your own person.
I know the Force is supposed to be like more mental
but right when he
attunement.
got to be his own person.
He died.
I know the
Yeah.
Force is supposed to be like more mental attunement, right? Which is why Darth Vader was still so much as powerful when he was mostly mechanical. But like, I feel like Kylo Ren could have been stronger a little bit because there was more organic there. Like, not only like mentally apt in the Force, but also like physically apt in the Force. Like, you know,
Yeah,
just
he had a natural body.
yeah.
He didn't have the restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And
I guess the Skywalker bloodline didn't have to die. Though.
I remember
'Cause,
being
them
very
motherfuckers was
excited.
getting too fucking powerful.
They need, not only that, but there's just too much of it, too much of Skywalker. Like I was getting sick of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Like,
They-
yeah, he's a legend. They're a legend. Sure.
I
Okay.
wouldn't.
Thank you. Can we move on to something else?
I know we got on this topic from me mentioning the video game, but I do remember being very excited when he stopped that bolt at the very beginning of that movie, and I was like,
Bruh.
because everything looked beautiful, man. The suits were glossy, and then you had this stormtrooper with a blood print on his helmet.
Yeah,
He takes it off, and you're like, yo, this guy's defecting. Like, what's wrong with him? Are they not clones? Are they
We
indoctrinated?
start talking about the disappointment.
And I feel like they could have done so much more with him,
Oh,
man.
they absolutely
and like
that was the intention.
he
But,
should
you
have
know,
been one
Star
of your
Wars.
more swashbuckling, badass characters at the end of all those
You know,
movies.
Star Wars racism. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
So-
Oh my God.
Yeah, they just they're like, we have to get to Ray, we have to get to her, and then he gets out to Ray. He just
Like,
runs up to the end.
Right?
Ray!
Yeah.
Like, that was your big plan, bro. You ain't have nothing else other than that. Okay, all right, cool.
You want to be my girlfriend?
Right.
Can I be your boyfriend? And I'm like,
Couldn't even do that.
Yeah,
They
Kylo
do
Ren was
that.
definitely one of the more compelling characters. And where they fucked us all up, to me, I'm sorry, you gotta let Kylo Ren and Luke fight. You have to let them fight there because
Yeah.
it could have showcased how powerful Kylo Ren was and how powerful Luke had become.
But even if not there,
and they just
later.
didn't let us do it.
You don't just let Luke fade off into nothing for just because he felt
But
like
maybe if Luke like self-sacrifice, he lets Kylo win. You kind of see a moment where he lets his guard down and Kylo stabs him, and yeah,
maybe in the
I
third
don't know.
movie.
I hated it. In the moment it was cool, but I
Maybe
hated
Luke
it.
goes
Like,
bad in the third movie, and we can leave Palpatine dead.
I said, man,
So many other things that could have happened.
so many other things are gonna happen.
yeah. Why? What if
I don't
Luke got
care.
corrupted by the Force? or
I don't
something?
care what
he
any-
was the bad big
I don't
bad
care
guy.
what
sitting
anybody
around
says.
annoyed.
I don't care what anybody says. The best lightsaber fight scene ever is still in Episode 1. Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. Hands
Oh
down.
yeah. Top,
Hands
yeah.
down.
That
Are we
is.
I would
covering
say
some of the
That's
animated?
the
Because
definitive.
they have some Star Wars: The Old Republic cinematics that are good.
I'm just counting like live action.
Yeah. It is the best one.
Live action
Maybe
stuff.
Obi-Wan and maybe
Because
Anakin.
they
That's
did
the
have-
only-
Obi-Wan and Anakin, maybe
that's the
that's
only
second
extended
place.
fight. Yeah.
Maybe in second place. Yeah.
But Obi-Wan Anakin. Yeah. Okay.
In Episode 3.
Maybe
I would
Darth coming
say-
down in Rogue One. It was short, but it was.
Well, that wasn't really like a fight
Nah,
per
it wasn't.
se.
Nah, it was a slaughter.
But I would say maybe a close.
He slaughtered him.
Slaughtered.
Yeah.
maybe that was a massacre.
Fucking the laser sword coming at you. Yeah, like
But,
Somebody else with a lightsaber.
Nah,
He was
you're right.
like,
He was the one with a lightsaber.
Oh,
He was like, yeah, and I'm like, yo,
like, them dudes
why
didn't
the
know what
doors
to do.
closing?
What the hell?
I'm like, yo, why the doors closing? What's going on?
Ooh, just death
Like, you
was
gotta
coming.
if you got a gun, you gotta be like,
Yeah, no, I would have holstered my joint immediately. Hey man, I give up. I throw my joint down,
Let me open the door for you.
and you know he'd have stopped that gun. He'd be like, nope,
man.
I'm gonna kill you.
Yo, you would have fucking lifted the gun out of your holster, pointed it at you, and pulled the
Right.
trigger.
No, I'm gonna do it.
That was so
I'm
dumb.
like,
No.
Maybe
No.
maybe Kylo and Ray when they were fighting the guards.
Yes, so that was
That
gonna say
was a
that
good
that was
show.
really good.
That was good. I
really
like that.
good.
Mhm.
But I still Episode 1 hands down. Just like it was just tension straight up.
Which
throughout.
I thought Snoke was so wasted. I was intimidated by Snoke, man. Andy Serkis did a great job. and like
They
just
did
his whole
nothing with
presence there, like
They did nothing with him.
the gold
Guess he was
robe.
another
And
puppet
he looked
for
very regal and like
For Palpatine, who came out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
it just
Yeah.
seemed so much more powerful. And I was like, I was like, there's no way he's dead. I was like, Snoke is. I thought Snoke was going to be Palpatine. I didn't know they were going to bring Palpatine back in the next one. I thought that was going to be Snoke somehow.
I don't think that was
theory
originally the plan. I don't think that was originally the plan
Why?
because
Palpatine.
because it was supposed to be like JJ was going to do 7, Ryan Johnson was going to do 8, and then Colin Trevorrow was going to do 9. Dude did Jurassic World.
Are you a fan of that? Do you feel like they should have the same guy? You know?
Yes. Consistency.
Yeah, just for consistency through stories.
Yeah, I agree.
They're like handing out,
But the thing,
just like everybody gets a turn.
Mhm.
but the thing is, I think I told you guys like Colin Trevorrow's original script and concept for episode 9 was a Duel of the Fates. Like it was gonna be fucking wild.
Mhm.
Like look it up on Google. I think they have like a kind of like a synopsis of what he was planning. Fucking, I was like, I wanted that movie. Like that's the movie that I wanted instead of the Rise of Skywalker. Like holy shit,
But they're
it's gonna be
always
insane.
second guessing this shit, man.
Well, it's
Like-
Star Wars. It's such a old and guarded and beloved property that like this fucking corporation like Lucasfilm, they don't know what to do.
They don't want to make it too.
They don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
They don't want to mess it up, but it's that very fear that's causing the franchise to go into disarray.
And that's why the games end up being better. That's why
the Mandalorian,
and the side stuff. Yeah.
The side stuff is why
because they're not so worried about it.
The main franchise.
Yeah.
Right? They're not making anything with the main shit anymore because they're too scared. They're gonna fuck it up.
Mm-hmm. Which they don't have any Star Wars movie upcoming. I haven't seen anything. Like
they were gonna give Taika Waititi his own trilogy. I'm not sure if that's still on after Love and Thunder.
I loved Rogue One, man. That was their best, and Solo wasn't that bad. Neither were the Star Wars, but they weren't terrible.
I enjoyed like one part of Solo, but it was very enjoyable. The Kessel Run, that was dope.
Yeah, that was cool too.
That was really fucking cool. But like Rogue One was really good.
I had a problem in Solo with what's his name popping his lightsaber in a hologram and then just unpopping the lightsaber. Man, you don't pull out a lightsaber unless you're going to use that shit, man. All right, like we know you got a lightsaber. We know that you're who's the guy Darth Maul. Okay, like as soon as you popped up on the screen, we didn't need you to light the lightsaber in the hologram. Okay, just a little.
Like, we know who you are,
right? Like, come on, because they were trying to match the whole. This is a Star Wars story. We have to show a lightsaber. It's a Star Wars story,
yeah,
but you have to have that lightsaber. Because the thing made Rogue One so good, like you weren't even thinking about a lightsaber at that point because the movie was good. But when it happened, you were like, "Damn, this is Star Wars! Holy shit, there's a lightsaber!"
That's kind of what makes Star Wars so good is because while you have all these normal people around doing normal shit, you got these fucking space wizards with laser swords, just somewhere nearby.
Swords,
very
they can just if they drop in, it's over. Like they'll drop in and turn your shit upside down.
That's how crazy skilled like both Jedi and Sith were.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would go in with a fucking like a laser sword and destroy armies.
Just upset the entire normal happenings.
By themselves.
That's what made the old Republic cinematics so good. Is like that old rivalry of the Jedi and the Sith, and then this other order who was hunting Jedi and Sith. It was like a whole nother order of Force users who like. So I wanted to explore. They could have went that direction in the movies.
You play the games?
Not the Old Republic, nah. But I'm waiting on the Fallen Order. Is it the Fallen Order 2? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Fallen
Order. This lightsaber situation looks dope, man.
I thought that game. The only thing that game missed was
you can change the length of the blade.
The only thing the first game missed was like a battle challenge, like a fight challenge, because the combat was fun. It was the funnest part of the game, But like they didn't have a combat challenge at the end where you could like once the game ended, that was just it. It's over. Okay, wait till next time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in Fallen Order.
Can't you go back and fight everybody?
Darth Vader had a tight ass.
You can go back and fight like.
You can go back and fight all the bosses.
Yeah, you
can go back and play it again, but they don't have like a new game plus, or they didn't.
Nah, they have like a boss rush mode.
Yeah, you can just fight the bosses.
You can fight all the bosses.
Do that? They might have added that later on because I got that joint when it first came out. And they didn't have anything. It was just it, and I played the game twice. I liked it so much. I played it.
They might have added it later. When I got it, it was around.
Look, I'm playing Witcher 3 right now. This will be my third time playing this game.
Really?
Witcher 3 is so dope, man. Never played it?
I never played it. I
man.
bought it. I have it.
Oh no!
I have so much shit in my library.
Go play it.
I'm afraid to play it because I heard it's like so good that it'll just take over.
It's so.
I actually bought 1, 2, and 3.
Oh yeah, was there like a 3-pack like deal or something? Like that?
On Steam.
Yeah, 3 was.
I got them all. I got so much shit in my library, bro.
All right. Yeah, man.
Crazy.
I guess speaking of Jonathan Majors, you know, we
were talking about Jonathan Majors.
Oh, damn! I thought we were talking about Kang. I thought this whole thing was wrapped up in that, man.
Anyway, yeah,
you know, Kang the Conqueror.
So
we're gonna transition to Vogue before we go.
Yeah, you want to do Vogue and
I don't know, man. These podcasts always run long. We always do like how we started off with a Quantumania review. The last 30 minutes, we ain't been talking nothing about no damn Quantumania. You know what I'm saying? It's just been going everywhere. Everything media. You know, I am excited for Star Wars though, man. I can't wait to play it. I do want to play that game because the story on that thing was just, you know, there's a part with Darth Vader at the end. Juice. Is it okay? Yes, this is a spoiler. No, all right, never mind.
We talking about
spoiler for you.
Fallen
Order.
No, I beat Fallen Order.
I beat it too.
Okay. So you beat it.
Yeah. That's
that part with Vader at the end, man. Was just
the whole time you're like you have to run. Like,
no,
you gotta go.
Yeah,
I look.
There's nothing you can do. Run.
So can I fight him?
I look back.
I'm like, can I fight him? No.
Yeah,
no,
they
can't
killed
do
you.
it.
I look back. He killed you as soon as you look back.
No, that dude. Yeah, as soon as he caught up, you were dead. Like,
Yeah.
You had to go.
Like even from the time where like I remember like
I just remember being like,
Like,
no, we gotta go.
it wasn't even a thought. It wasn't even a decision. Like, okay, I knew we had to run before the
Like, the
cutscene.
game
I was like,
didn't
we gotta
even
run.
let you like,
the prompt,
think
like the
about it.
prompts, like run. I'm like,
because at first I remember I died. I was like, okay, how are we gonna do this?
oh no, no.
I was like, oh, you have to
like,
go.
maybe try again. Whoa, okay.
You have to run and don't get caught.
Even when he tossed Sarah off of the little thing, and he was like, "You should surrender."
Like
he was like, "Yeah, I should." I was like, "Oh shit, it's about to go down. I'm about to fight Vader, bro."
I thought about it too. I was like, "Oh shit, am I gonna have to fight him?"
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "No, can't do it."
No, did you run up and attack, or did you let him? I was like, "I'm gonna let him attack me first. You know what I mean?
No.
So you remember before?
I immediately turned around.
Before
I was like, I attacked him.
Yeah.
Remember, there's a part right before you had to run where you have to square up with him, and then he grabs you in the force. He's like,
yeah.
You know, you grab that thing,
No,
he
that's
blocks
when
it
I
and
knew.
throws you over there. Yeah,
That's when I knew. I'm like, no, this is not a battle I can win.
yeah. I attacked him, and he just blocked the shit out of that joint, and then caught me, and I was like, oh shit, like I can't beat him, man. All right, so yeah, it was cool. It's fun. You gonna
that was dope, man. Like that. I wonder if he's gonna fight Vader again in the next one. I'm so interested. Like,
I think he has.
Vader's
the Inquisitors was a Vader.
Vader before Luke pops up is like, we all know he's a tyrant, but he was a menace, yo.
Yeah, right.
Like, this dude was a menace. Like,
It's fucking Vader. Dude.
I read some of the comics right now. Oh my
He's so
god,
angry.
dude! Like, he's so fucking
He's
just
so angry, dude. Like he's got a lot of anger around.
Oh,
Like
man.
they did not make me a master when I was a Jedi. I did everything. Like I did everything right.
I'm shocked we haven't gotten a solo Vader movie ever. Like, there's no movie that just is
You watch
Vader centric. No, but
I mean, it's not the Vader movie,
You know.
it's Kenobi, but
everybody wants a live action film.
it was. I liked it, man. It was dope, man. Like,
I heard it was pretty good. Yeah,
just seeing how
I know the
'cause it's
Mandalorian. The next
all
season
the in
premieres
between
in
time,
March.
the stuff that happens in between, like the movies,
Mhm.
like all that filler space, like even right now with Mandalorian,
Right.
Like with like just seeing Luke in that joint with Grogu
Mhm.
and their dynamic and seeing Ahsoka, like all of that stuff is like, it's so ripe for like content. Like,
Yeah,
literally, that's what
I think the whole world is like the whole Star
universe,
Wars
yeah.
universe is. Yeah, just right for content.
I'm like almost done with the Clone Wars series, and like it's just so much stuff that happened in between like two movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine that happening with between every movie. Like, there's
But I mean, like things like that do happen between all
Yeah,
those
yeah.
movies.
It
You know,
does.
it's
It's
just
just-
like not explored.
yeah, exactly. Like even between like Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, like stuff happened between that. It's just like,
Right. Yeah, because
And
like
there's stuff that also
So
happens
much shit!
before
Luke
there's stuff
mastered
that
his
happens even
craft.
before the prequels. You know, like about like the Sith and the Sith and their rule of two,
Yeah,
and like how they came to be with Darth Bane.
dude. If they did the Darth Bane movie,
oh man, that's what I want. That's what I want.
But real talk about fear. They will fuck that shit up.
I hope not.
But Revan,
Revan
would be doable.
Revan would be doable.
Yeah, but Darth Bane, it would have to be dark, man. Like
it needs
that
to
nigga
be.
went through some shit.
And not only that, like not only did he go through some shit, but it's just like it's like the first like real establishment of like the rule of two, where it's like one to hold the power, the other to crave it, and the one that craves it has to kill the master in order to become a master. That's the only way you become a master in the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get appointed.
Shoot ninja.
You don't get appointed. His apprentice killed him. Yeah. She deaded him. So it's like, I want to see all of this.
Seems like such a weakening tactic, right? Like, so the Sith destroyed themselves. I mean, wouldn't you be a lot stronger if you had? That's the thing is like that's the rule of two. Like you have to keep it small.
Because Bane saw that Bane was a part of the organization before. He was a part of the League of like what?
Yeah.
The League of Siths.
Yeah, it was. They weren't called the Sith then, but it was like it was a bigger organization. Yeah. So Darth Bane's like, nah, and he fucking like y'all are all gonna die,
and he yeeted these niggas into the abyss.
He killed them all. He kills them all, and then he's like, from now on it will be two, only two. And it goes from there. So that's what it is with the Sith. There's always one master, one apprentice. That's it. That's the Sith. And it just keeps continuing down the line. Once the apprentice kills the master, they become the new master. They have to seek a new apprentice, and so on and so forth.
And Palpatine used that John on some toxic shit. Because he's just like, you know what? Nobody said I had to just have one apprentice.
Exactly. No one said I have to have one apprentice.
Fight for me.
Exactly. I'm gonna have y'all apprentices to be the one true apprentice.
And in a way, he used it maybe the best way, but it was the most toxic way.
Yeah.
Like he was definitely just like, yeah.
I don't know.
I have my apprentices kill each other for the power, and then I'll still live forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll still not die.
Yep. I mean, Palpatine in his own way, he corrupted that system. He like worked that system to his advantage because technically like he was a master, but like technically Vader was still his apprentice
the whole time.
Like he was never a master, but yet Vader's like the most badass apprentice like ever.
So Vader never became a master.
He never became a master.
So the death of the Sith was the death of Palpatine.
He has to kill The apprentice has to kill Palpatine or their master in order to become the master, and then that master has to seek an apprentice.
So who was Palpatine's apprentice in The Rise of Skywalker? Was it Kylo? Was Kylo Ren ever a Sith?
No.
Right? So
he
like
wannabe.
Yeah.
So the Sith,
because like some of the dark side shit
in that movie, he turns good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's like they kept building him as a Sith Lord. I'm like, he's not a Sith.
He was never appointed an apprentice by a master of the Sith. He was just a Sith wannabe.
Just Luke.
Yeah, Luke trained him.
You're right. They should have explored Kylo Ren more. He was definitely one of the more compelling characters in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Could have been what's my man's name? Was it Flynn? Finn could have been Finn.
Finn what?
Been a compelling character, and they floundered his character.
Should have been the next Jedi.
No, that was just racist.
He didn't necessarily have to be a Jedi, but I thought he could have been a badass. He could have been a badass soldier.
They were marketing and advertising that throughout.
He could have been like a bounty hunter type soldier, with his training and all that.
The first movie was called The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
The Force Awakens, and this stormtrooper.
I think we all
realizes that he's meant for something greater.
I think we all kind of knew that he wasn't going to be. Because we knew, we hoped because of the trailer, we saw him holding it. We saw him holding a lightsaber, and that's when everybody was like, "Oh,
well, who else
Black
uses
Jedi?"
lightsabers?
But we knew, damn it, we knew.
Literally, no one else uses lightsabers.
Has anybody else ever used
most
a
cats
lightsaber
can't even
in the
like the fact that he was wielding a lightsaber. Like those are like wild weapons.
You have to. You can't just train.
Yeah,
to not cut your own arm off.
I think the way they did it at least was kind of tasteful, right? Like
and he
did it out of desperation instead of
that's fine.
You know,
that's
he just grabbed the first weapon that was
available.
That's fine and all, but that
With
could have
the
been.
lightsaber.
That
He
could have
kind of
been a
went.
start.
He got a new ass crack sliced up him. You know what I'm saying? He got 2 ass cracks now. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't
That
fight
could-
Kylo
that could have
Ren.
been a
Darth Maul
good
got
start.
cut
He might have held his own for a second against
Darth
Kylo. They
Maul
didn't
got
fight him.
cut in half and came back later. Like,
Yeah.
that
But then
wasn't
he
the
got cut in
issue.
half by the Sith. Got cut in half by a Jedi. So like Finn, that wasn't a fight. Okay,
All
that's
I'm
generous to
saying
say that
is-
was a fight. Because Kylo Ren whooped his ass. And you go back and look at that joint, man.
Because he's a trained.
He wasn't even trying.
Well,
Kylo
look,
Ren
the
is
argument
trained.
I'm making.
Yeah, but
the argument I'm making is that they set him up.
I think to say
to
that
be
it's
a
racist
Jedi.
is a little bit.
No,
Come
it's
on,
definitely
'cause
racist.
It's
we
absolutely
saw
racist.
it from the trailer. We saw the black guy holding the lightsaber,
Yeah.
but we knew deep down inside they're not gonna let this shit happen. They're not gonna let us have a black Jedi. The
They were-
reestablishment of the
they were
Mace
about
franchise.
Windu.
Yeah,
Mace
like
Windu
just-
was secondary as hell. He wasn't the main guy.
What?
You know what I mean?
You're
Mace Windu was not the main guy in that movie. Obi-Wan was a bigger
No,
character in that movie.
But Mace Windu is not a secondary character.
Y-
There's
y-
no way.
dude. And I forget the name of the movie. It's too many goddamn Star Wars movies, man.
Attack of the Clones?
Attack of no,
Sorry,
third
Attack
one,
of the Clones.
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, he was definitely secondary. He got killed in the middle of the movie. Get tossed out the window in a lightning flash. That's a bit spy. The movie's gonna go on without you.
That was bullshit.
And then the most dramatic moments happened after his
I'm
death.
thinking of him in like Clone Wars, the animated show. Clone Wars, like
Even
fucking
Clone
Mace
Wars,
Windu,
yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Like
He's on
Clone
the
Wars, he was definitely
he's
more
on the
prominent,
council,
yeah.
man. Like he's definitely
he's a general.
for
like-
if you're talking about
He's up there.
if we're talking about Jedi that are black, Mace Windu is important.
Oh, well, of course, yeah.
Mace Windu is also one of the
Only.
2.
That's why he could have been a descendant.
Yeah, they could have
His
had.
fucking brother. Oh my god, dude! Mace Windu's brother is out there. High level, force sensitive, dark side user, super strong, just out there in the universe,
Mhm.
chilling.
Not
Nobody's
doing nothing
using
with
him.
No, not doing nothing with him.
Not doing nothing. Like,
Nothing
I
with
heard that. What's his name?
him.
Samuel L. Jackson
Racist. Let's talk about something
requested to have a purple lightsaber
Mhm.
specifically from George Lucas,
Yeah.
right, to set himself aside from the other. And now that purple lightsaber has kind of become iconic, right? Like
Yeah.
that's one of the
He's
lightsaber colors.
kind of.
He's just. I mean, it's,
It
the
is.
best lightsaber.
it's like.
I don't know if
best
it's the
lightsaber.
best. Ooh, easy, bro.
What's
Green.
the best lightsaber?
Green for me.
Why?
I don't.
I do like.
I just
green.
like
Why?
Luke's. I like Luke's in the third one. You know, the
So it's
sixth movie.
so it's a significance. It's not. Is
Yeah.
green your favorite color? Or
well, no, it just I
it's
think it looks the
significance
coolest.
Of the green.
It looks the coolest.
Look,
but-
Mace Windu's hilt had gold
What-
on it.
what
all
makes
I know.
purple-
Mace Windu, because purple is rare. Because purple is
Yeah,
rare.
but that's only because
And-
George Lucas decided it
and-
was.
And what color? What 2 colors make purple?
Dude, come on.
Mhm.
Let me Google search this shit.
Blue and
Blue and red make
Oh, okay.
purple.
Blue and red.
Blue and red make purple.
That means he's right at that.
Exactly.
That's why he was.
That's
so
his whole
strong. That's
character.
why he was able to take down.
What
They
they
were
Palpatine.
literally-
red have to. What is the?
Blue for
Oh.
Jedi, red for Sith. He's
Oh,
right in
come on.
between.
No, I never made that.
That's his
connection.
whole fighting style. His whole fighting style is about
Dude,
aggression.
there's lore
There's
about
like-
this.
Yes.
I mean,
Like,
There is.
look
There
up
is.
the lore.
I know
They
he's
wrote
good.
about
It's good.
this.
I know
Lore's
he's more
good.
prominent in like the books and Clone Wars. I've seen Clone Wars. That was dope. Are you watching the Bad Batch on Disney Plus?
I'm actually not.
I mean,
No.
neither. I heard it was all right though.
I heard it was
Down
good,
with Josh,
too.
it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Clone Wars
So
was
now
good,
the
but just
Force users.
it's a purple significant because of George Lucas decided it was.
yeah.
But it is one of the colors.
But
like
they wrote
in the video
stories
game, you
about
can
this,
change your
man.
lightsabers to purple, and so yeah, I get it.
Yeah, all I'm saying is just check out the lore. It's great.
So if I had
It's really
had
good.
a blue lightsaber, a red lightsaber, a green one, purple, white, orange, all lined up, which one y'all picking? The purple?
I don't
one?
know. I don't know.
No,
if we'll,
bro.
I don't know if we'll have
Go for
time
that
to talk.
green.
I don't know if we'll have time to talk about my
Oh,
experience,
yeah.
but like
Mhm.
I literally went through this at Savvy's workshop in Disney World.
Mhm. You
So,
said that.
like-
Yo, yeah, do the rundown, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this,
Like, you sure? What about
yeah.
like? I
I
mean,
don't know, man. Like, we still
No,
talking about.
we are still talking about. I
No,
do want
no,
to touch on
no,
that
no,
Jonathan
no.
Major jump.
So-
I guess we talked about it before, Kaz, but I mean, we can touch on it. You know,
came back up here. Anyway, go ahead.
all right.
Like,
well,
I want to know because I want to know how it went down, man.
All right,
Like,
well-
because that's one thing. If I go there, that's the one thing I want to do.
oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay. So the deal is, so me and my family went to Disney World, and we came back a couple of weeks ago. But while I was there, or before I went there, I made an appointment to go to Savvy's workshop. Now, Savvy's workshop, for those who don't know, is basically the place in Disney World. It's also in Disneyland, but it's the place at Disney World where it's like where Star Wars Land is.
Mhm.
It's inside Star Wars Land. It's the place that makes lightsabers. So in Star Wars like lore, right? So you go to this workshop and you get to build your own lightsaber. So how it works is that you of course you make your appointment, you pay. We're talking like I think like the lightsaber, for full disclosure, it's like $250.
Mm.
But it comes with everything, right? The hilt, the crystal, the blade, you know,
And the experience.
which is well worth the price of admission alone. So you go, when you get there, after you check in and all your shit straight, they give you a menu. And in the menu, you have a choice between 4 different types of hilts. So each of the hilts have their significance. So like the first set of hilts, for example, you have 2 choices within each of the 4. So you have a choice of 8 different hilts that you can choose from, but you have to stick with one category per se. So the first set of hilts is the balance and defense, which is as you can tell, you probably tell by the name, Jedi. They're Jedi themed hilts, right? Look more like Luke's hilts. They look more like Obi-Wan's hilts.
Right.
There are 2 of them that look very similar to either of those hilts, right? So you
Like
can choose
chrome, glossy kind
chrome, black in there, the red button to press on, and so on and so forth. A little bit of blue in there to kind of like significance of, you know, Bright's color.
Right.
And one of the colors you can choose. So that's balance and defense. And then you have power and control, which you could probably guess is a Sith themed lightsaber. Black and red for the most part. A little bit of chrome, a little bit of gray, dark gray, charcoal gray in there.
Yeah.
Really unique grips. Really unique housings for the blade. Like there's one housing that has 3 different, that has like 4 spikes or 2 spikes on each side, and then the blade comes out of the spikes. So it's like you have like a spiked hilt, which is pretty dope. Different grips, different you know, black grips, black bottoms. So power and control, black and red, and then you of course you have your blade. The third one is more of an elemental lightsaber hilt. I'm not sure what the significance there is. I think that's kind of like unique to the workshop, but like they look like they have like wood themed.
I know the Wookiees, so there was like 2 Wookiees I know are Jedi.
Oh, okay, maybe that's it.
And they
Maybe
both,
that's it.
well, I know one uses like a wooden kind of hilt made from some super tree. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's it. Because like they have like, again, it's like kind of like wooden themed hilts, like a lot of like yellow, green, brown, really weird bottoms with like kind of like a tree branch that's curved.
Oh, word.
On the bottom of the hilt. Like gold, yellow, green, brown, you know, like kind of like wood tree bark themed hilts. And then the fourth one, I don't remember the name of the hilts and I don't remember what they looked like. But there's another option.
Okay.
But it did not stick out to me. The one I went with was power and control. I'm not a Sith person. I've always been more of a Jedi person. But black and red is one of my favorite color schemes, and it just fucking looked cool. I think most people went with power and control in my group, so that's the other thing. Once you pick your choice, that's when you go pay, and then they put you in a group of like 12 or 13 people, and you wait to go in. So so they put you off to the side, and then when you're allowed to go in, everybody goes in. They tell you to stand at a station. There's going to be like 12 or 13 stations. So you have your own station. And then once everybody's inside, then you have like the builders that come out. And then you have like the master builder that comes out. And the master builder comes out and he starts telling the story about the origin of the lightsaber and about who uses it. And like who uses what color?
Is he like dressed in like the robes?
Yes.
You got like full gear.
Everyone's in character the entire time. No one breaks character ever. Like he's talking about like you know, it's like you are all here for a very special reason. You are all here to build your own lightsaber.
Right.
You know, and it's like the lightsaber is something that is a weapon, very dangerous but very beautiful, used by the Jedi and the Sith. You know, like his voice goes down. You know, like it's just like, and you hear the music in the background playing while he's telling the story. I'm like, this is a fucking whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just like I was like immediately sucked in. And I'm like, this is amazing. You're encouraged to take pictures and video.
Okay.
But like I couldn't because like I was so like immersed. You know, like it breaks the immersion. So like, but you are allowed to go in with another person. Okay. So if you're able to go with another person, that person should probably be like your camera person. Okay. Because you're going to be so like immersed in what's happening. That's going to be like, it's going to take you out of it to just be like, you know, this the entire time and looking through your fucking phone the entire time. Yeah. So, so as he's telling the story, he comes out with the crystals. So the different colored crystals, the kyber crystals. He explains about the kyber crystals, what they mean, the significance of the colors, the significance of the Jedi and or Sith that uses said colors, or like the most famous to use said colors, like Luke Skywalker would be green, Obi-Wan Kenobi would be blue. Okay. You would have Darth Vader would be red, and Mace Windu would be purple. Okay. So like he explains like, you know, about like why they chose those colors for whatever reason. You know, if you're into Star Wars, you know the story, but it's still really cool to just kind of like hear it in this kind of experience. So from there, so once he finishes his story, it's not very long, but once he finishes the story of everything, then he instructs his builders to go to each person's station. They have one builder for each station. Okay. And depending on what you chose on your menu, they roll out like a parchment, I should say, of like all your parts. And from there,
it's like all the pieces is laid out.
Yeah, all the pieces are laid out. So it's good. It's good because it's like, in a way, like this is like it's hands-on, and you know how to take it apart. You know how it actually works, and it's like legit. You know, like you're building everything from scratch, right? All the pieces are laid out. So they tell you, so they walk around. So the builders walk around in rotation, and they tell you to pick a color, to pick your kyber crystal color. So when they got to me, I picked purple immediately. Yeah. Now I was fighting between blue and purple because blue's my favorite color, but purple is fucking cool as shit. You know, and it's like there's a significance there with Mace Windu picking purple, right? And the fact of the matter is, purple to me is also a very strong color. So
it's a royal color.
It's a royal color, exactly. So is blue. You know, so it's like I was fighting between blue and purple, but I decided that morning I was like, I'm gonna do purple. I have to. I'm not gonna look at blue. But when I saw blue, I'm like, oh, it's fucking nice stuff. But
what all colors do they have?
So it was just the four. So green, red, purple, blue. But in the past, they have had yellow. They have had white, yellow and white along with those colors. But they only have the four this time. So it's fine.
I know the orange one looked dope in the video game.
So that's fine. You know, I'm like, I knew I was gonna pick one of the four. You know, so I had two options of the four or whatever. So I picked purple, and then it's like, all right, let's get to work building your lightsaber. All the rotation stops, and then the builder that's in front of you again is the builder that you started off with. So It's really fucking awesome. Stops, and then they're like, all right, let's build your lightsaber. So they start to explain to you like which piece to start with. So it tells you to start with the it's like the longest piece. It's like a piece with a housing in the middle. Okay, yeah. And they're like, all right, so this is the housing piece. What you're going to do is you're going to take these grips. There are two grips that you put on one side. You put on the bottom of one side and on the top of one side of the house, the hole. And then they say once you have that, then you take the bottom piece. Whichever choice that you selected, you take the bottom piece, you screw it onto the bottom, and then you take the housing piece for the blade, you screw that onto the top, and then like now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your crystal and put it in the center of the housing. The pointy part of the crystal goes up, and the flat part of the crystal goes down, So when you put it in, the hilt activates, like you hear a sound and light.
Word.
I'm like, this is fucking cool.
All right,
but you don't have a blade yet, mind you. You don't have a blade yet.
Right.
I'm like, this is fucking cool. Oh my god!
That shit just comes to life.
Like you hear an electricity sound. It's like, oh shit, this is great. And the hilts are heavy. Like they're really
I saw
heavy.
yours.
Like you felt mine, right?
That one was definitely
it's heavy, right? So it's like it's got weight to it. It's not plastic. It's like
2 pounds
beyond plastic.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like 3 pounds.
Like 3 pounds, yeah.
So it's like it's really heavy. So I'm like, this has got some fucking weight to it. Mm-hmm. So after all that's said and done, when you finally build your hilt entirely, you have these 2 other pieces that you put on either side of the housing that's exposed. So it closes on either side of that housing, and now your hilt is built, right? It's complete from start to finish.
Any other like tools, like any other pieces to like screw in, or everything is kind of like
everything is kind of like screw. Everything is like screw in.
Okay.
It's like kind of like what do you call it? Like a plug and play.
Okay.
Right. Like everything just works. Right. Everything works with each other. So once your hilt is built, all right, this is a really fucking cool part of the experience. So once your hilt is built, everybody's finished. They make sure everybody's finished. They're like, is everybody finished? Oh, I should also say, while we were building, the master builder was walking around. He was asking everybody what color you chose.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he got to me, he's like, what color did you choose? I'm like, purple. He's like, and again, in character, he's like, Master Windu's color. He's like, now, we all know Master Windu chose purple because it's about aggression, but it's also about defense. And so he's like, I think Master Windu favors one over the other. But then he has surprised me before with some of his choices while he fights. And I'm like, this is fucking amazing. Like, I fucking love this.
That's what you're thinking in the middle of him telling you that?
Like, I fucking love this. I'm like, I fucking love this. This is fucking amazing. Right. So then after he finishes walking around, so let's get to when everybody finishes building their hilts. So he's like, all right, everybody take your hilts. He makes comments on some people's hilts. He's like, hold your hilts up. He makes comments on some people's. He's like, you two. He actually pointed to me and the guy next to me. He's like, you two will be adventurers together because we picked literally the same design. Yeah. Except that this other guy picked a different grip than I did. The grip the 2 pieces that went in the middle, his had like rings around it, where mine was just plain black. But it was like ridged. So he's like, you two will be traveling together, or you two will be adventuring together, except you just have one slight difference, but that's okay. So he's like, everybody hold your hilts up. So you hold your hilts up. He's like, wow. He's like, how does that feel, everyone? And everyone's like, yeah. Everyone's like, yeah, this is so good. Because it's like, it feels like it has some weight to it. So he's like, all right, so to your right, you'll notice a chamber. He's like, you'll notice a chamber that's like really long. Now, again, you don't have a blade yet. So he's like, put your hilt in the chamber. So everybody puts their hilt in the chamber. He's like, twist till you feel it lock. So you feel it lock. And then he's like, all right. And once you feel it lock, that means the button or switch that you use to turn on your lightsaber is up, facing up towards you. Okay. So he's like, he starts saying, he's like, all right, now the moment of truth. Let's see if these work. So he's like, everybody on 3, turn your lightsabers on, like in the chamber. Again, this chamber is clear, but it's really long. It's like, turn your lightsabers on. So everybody turns their lightsabers on, and the chamber lights up with your color of your fucking crystal. I'm like, yo, this is fucking wild. And he's like, all right, seems to work. He's like, seems to work. Yes, I think this is gonna work. And so he's like, all right, everyone, twist again and pull out your lightsaber. You pull out your lightsaber, it comes out with the blade on it. With the blade, and it's cool, on. And it's on, and I'm like, yo, this is wild. He's like, hold up your lightsabers, and everybody holds up their lightsabers. You see all the colors that everyone picked, and I think me and one other guy, like to my far right, were the only 2 that picked purple. Most people picked blue, and then there was a lot of people that picked red too. But purple was the least popular color. But I don't care.
Did you attack those people?
What I want? Nah.
No greens.
There were greens. But green was not the popular color, unfortunately. But green was.
I can imagine being red and blue.
It was red and blue. Mm-hmm. Red and blue were the most popular. So
I always like green.
So he's like, all right, everybody, turn off your lightsabers. So we all turn off our lightsabers, and then he makes us do like the oath of like the oath that you take in order to be a lightsaber wielder, no matter what side you choose. There's like an oath that you take, and so he says the oath. I don't remember what the oath is. I was just like,
Right.
Lightsaber. So he's like, all right, one more time, everybody, turn on your lightsabers and hold it out towards me. And we turn on our lightsabers and we hold it out. And he's like, all right. It's like, I think we're done. He's like, may the force be with you. And I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking dope. And we all walk out. When we walk out, they give us cases
for
the lightsaber. And then if like we walk out back outside, and that's pretty much it, dude. Like the room is like the room is like legit. It looks like a workshop, like in Star Wars lore, right? Like it looks legit. Like the people are dressed legit. They are in character. They don't break character.
Are they aliens?
Huh?
No, all humans.
Okay.
All humans.
I definitely would have walked out there with a hood on. You know what
You're not at the people.
Yeah, for real. I emerged from that joint, man, with my lightsaber. Like,
like it was a fantastic experience. Like, seems a little pricey, but like that, just the whole experience, completely worth the price of admission alone.
You said like $250?
$250. Yeah,
that's actually really reasonable.
I think that just speaks to Star Wars, man. Star Wars,
you can just buy.
You can just buy a lightsaber, but like you're missing out on the experience. Of like building.
But they sell like there's lightsabers out there, like Hilton stuff, for like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
It gets kind of crazy, but that's definitely one thing I want to do. I absolutely recommend it. You should totally do it if you get the chance. Just go, just do it. Reserve the time. Mm-hmm.
Reserve the time. I mean, like I was in and out in like less than an hour.
Okay, cool.
You
come at that joint with the whole. Yeah, that sounds cool as hell.
Did your wife go in there with you?
No. So she was actually back at the hotel room with the son.
Okay.
But
so that's what I said. She would have been standing there. I would have emerged with that hood on. She would have been like, Frank, is it still you?
No.
That's when you spark the lightsaber.
I did keep it a surprise from her what color I was going to choose, because she was like asking, what color are you going to choose? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know, but I'm not telling you if once I do know. But I knew that morning when I woke up, I was really, for like 2 days, I was like, man, I should probably just go blue, because blue's my favorite color, and like blue is such a dope color. 2 days, man. Yeah, like 2 days. Like I was like 2 whole days. I was like, fuck. And then I woke up the next morning. That morning that I was gonna go, because I was gonna go that night. And I woke up and it just came to me. I'm like, I'm just gonna do purple.
So they show you examples of what each color will look like before you choose, or you have to pick one?
No. They have the actual crystals, and they have the actual crystals. So it's like they don't show you what it's gonna look like.
Do they show you
part
what
of the experience?
Okay, finding out. Yeah. So they don't show you what each lit lightsaber looks like with the different hilts.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So how is it crystals like? Like, can you take them out and just like hold them?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But the thing is about staying in character. With the people staying in character, they're like, just make sure that you turn your lightsaber off before dismantling it for whatever reason. If you need to get to the crystal again, if something doesn't like match up or whatever, because we've had explosions before, and I'm like, are y'all for real?
I know, right? Like,
and they're like, yeah, we've had explosions before. Someone's arm got taken off. I'm like,
you almost got me, yo.
I was like that. The pause was a little pregnant, though. I'm like,
I'd have paused too.
I'm like, nah.
I paused when you were telling the story. And they're still selling them?
I know, right?
Yeah. It sounds cool, man.
But it was such an experience, guys. Like I absolutely 100% recommend it.
Would you rather be a Jedi or Ant-Man? You know what I'm saying? That's exactly. So that's just what I'm saying. Nobody's leaving that movie wants to be Ant-Man. All right, they did not.
Like, there's no Ant-Man experience in the park. We'll do.
That's cool, man. Yeah, Star Wars is such a big property. Like, you could go anywhere. I mean, do anything, and people know the name Star Wars. Just an attractive thing that people want to. Who the hell doesn't want a lightsaber? You know what I mean? Like that's like one of your childhood
two up on the wall right
dreams is to own a lightsaber, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm saying like, I mean, I did do something after that, even though that experience was dope. But I went and built a BB-8 just because I wanted to. Huh?
So it's like a workshop too?
Yeah.
What?
Does it roll around
a droid?
Yeah, like the actual little droid. I have a remote for it. It rolls around and it it makes the noises and all that. Yeah, I built a BB-8.
Can you build like a 3PO and all that, or just the only do because
no, you can build an R2.
Yeah,
you can build an R2D2.
Wow,
it's not like
it's
not
like life size
R2D2, but like R2D2 is like smaller. It's like this
size. 3PO being that.
He's like, hello,
come on.
He's like, are we leaving?
He's like, hello, how can I serve you today? I'm like,
get in the car.
Not today.
Go get the bag.
Get in the trunk.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, but I built a BB-8 because I was just like, this is fucking amazing. And I'm like, and I was already there, and the place to build the BB-8 was right next to the workshop. So I went in.
What's Kess's robot name?
Who?
Cal Kess's job? The little one with the legs.
Shit.
I
don't know, but there was a part at the end of that game where Vader was holding it, and you thought he was gonna crush it.
Yeah,
I was like, BD.
Yeah.
I was like, Vader, you better not crush my droid, bro. I thought he was going because I think BD got on him and shocked him, right? Like then they shocked Vader, and Vader like grabbed him off of him and held him there, and they prompted you to press the button to stab Vader. But there was a moment there where Vader was just holding BD. You're like, dude, you better not crush my goddamn droid, bro. They almost should have did it because it would have been like a gut punch for you,
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that hurt, man. You crushed my droid, man.
Nah, BD was cool.
Yeah, I like BD.
Yeah, man, that sounds good, man.
Yeah, but that was most for the most part the experience, and I highly recommend it. Like if you're at all a fan of Star Wars, just for the experience and just for the fact that you get to build it yourself, basically. They show you what to do and they help you if you need it, but like. Yeah. You get to you do it with your own hands, and the crystal goes in there, and it's like this is fucking wild.
So this was Orlando, right?
Yeah,
man. I love Florida, man. Florida's so beautiful. So I went to Tampa like 2 years ago, maybe, and I flew into Orlando. Man, it's like Disney owns the fucking city down there.
Oh yeah.
Like everything is Disney.
They literally do. Yeah.
Like wow, they really.
There's like nothing else there.
Yeah, it's like dude,
kind of scary.
Yeah,
it's like wow, this is okay. Yeah, they actually built the city.
Like some tax situation there.
Yeah, there's a shuttle and all this shit. I'm like, damn, okay.
But they do the lightsaber or the workshop. They also have it in Disneyland too. So if you're out in California for some reason, also you can do it there too. You just have to schedule the appointment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that sounds dope.
Nice, man.
Yeah, one day. But yeah, thanks for telling the story.
Yeah, man.
Well, yeah, man. I guess we run a little long, man. Y'all want to save Jonathan Majors till next time, man?
Yeah, we are running a little long.
Touching it real quick. These casts always run long. I think ever since we started these things, man, like we always try to keep it to like an hour and a half. That shit always ends up going.
Now. Let's kill it real fast.
That shit always ends up going 3.5 hours, Okay, so I guess we can blend the two. Okay, so a few weeks ago there was a Vogue article about
nobody can see the screen, but I'm gonna put it up here anyway.
There was a cover with Rihanna, and she is kind of leading the way for her children, her child's father, who is ASAP Rocky, the rapper. Now, when I first see this cover,
hold on, you're tainting the intro. She's not leading the way. This is a photo.
It looks like she is, though.
This is a photo shoot.
Now, put up that
other
one that I sent to you guys to the group, where there's a lot of other races of people.
This one.
And they're kind of shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm. Hey, this is us. We are together. We're here. We're a team. Whereas the one with Rihanna and ASAP, it kind of looks like she's leading him. Like now, me personally, there's a kind of a controversy on it, or black men being emasculated. I didn't think that when I saw Rihanna. Like I said, pre-cast, I thought she's the bigger star. So she's, of course, she's leading the way. Like nobody knows A$AP Rocky. He's a rapper.
Who are any of these other people?
I don't know, but this imagery. I know that's Chris Hemsworth. Yeah.
Is it? Who's that shit?
Now I don't know if any of them
It's
are
Kate
pop
Blanchett.
stars or anything. Are they? Well, they say it mostly on a lot of the covers. Right? I don't know. But I'm not pointing out who they are so much.
No idea.
Only as far as the imagery of them being shoulder to shoulder. It looks like it's more of a partnership than the one with Rihanna and ASAP, where she's leading him by the hand. Which, I mean, I just chalked it up to her being the bigger star of the two. Hey, follow me. We're going to be okay. That's what I thought. But I could see how some people would think that that's not a good look for the imagery of the black family, I guess, quote unquote, for the woman to lead the charge for the man, right? Whereas with these other ones, other covers where you have multi-cultured and multi-racial people, it's more shoulder to shoulder. We're a team, we're together, we're here.
Or the bullet. What the fuck's that? What's that got to do with this?
Well, I think that's the guy who posted it. Yeah, some of these guys are like very pro-black, so they just kind of. Can black people be racist? Can black people be racist?
Absolutely.
I think so too. I think they can be. I don't know about racist. Maybe bigoted.
No, they can be racist.
Yeah, I think so too. Some of them can be very toxic. But yeah, so I mean, it was a good cover, and that's only one part of it. Put up the Jonathan Majors drink.
Okay, yeah, I'm doing both.
Yeah, just to knock it out real quick. Now, it's not the same. One, there's a controversy of there's a controversy of the men being I guess not portrayed to be as strong or as needed as the woman. This one, a lot of people are mad because, and I like how Juice put up the whole defeated and weak thing up there. I like that,
Quoted by Boyce Watkins, ladies,
when
this
you
is
look
how
at this,
Hollywood defines black masculinity.
Because
that's why so many of your men are defeated and weak.
Now, me and Juice were talking about this before you when you got here. What do you think when you look at this? Meg? Does this evoke feelings of feminization or femininity to you? Does he look feminine in this?
No, not to me.
Not his posture or anything.
Well, to be honest, like I don't know. Maybe the way the way I think is probably different from like how other people might view this, but like this doesn't do anything like to me, or for me, for me to react in that way. Like I'm going by like not only like what I'm seeing, but versus like also how he reacted to the backlash that he's gotten for this. But like, the man's doing a job. He's doing a fucking photo shoot. Like y'all need to chill.
And at the end of the day, I'm not going to vilify the man.
Yeah, like this does nothing to me. Where I don't feel anything for this. Like I see it. I'm like, I see it. I think the colors are nice. I think the colors are nice. I see that apparently the people who did the photo shoot drew inspiration from One Piece for this with Doflamingo. Like I see Jonathan Majors everywhere right now. So like I'm just kind of like, hey, whatever, you do you. You do you, whatever it is that you do, like, because I know he also gets shit because he's married to a white woman, right? But like at the same time, it's like
that's fine. I don't give people shit for any of that, because
but exactly how you feel about that. I don't feel any kind of way about this. I'm just like he's doing a job. This is a job. He agreed to do this. He's getting paid to do this. Let him be. Like
you love who you love. So I would never give him any flack for marrying a white woman. Like he loves her as long as you have a happy family.
You don't, but the black, but
to me, this does evoke sides of femininity because of the lip pucker.
The question
is,
the
legs crossed,
even
the colors.
Even if so,
but if I had a body like that, I'd be posing like that too. I'd be
by saying this invokes images of femininity, right? The issue is, right?
I think a lot
that
of
what is
people
the
who
issue
don't know
with So that's only all that's doing is saying that there's something wrong with an effeminate man.
A lot of people who
So
don't
if there
know
is an
anything
effeminate
about
man, like where are we? Who are we? Like,
Let
do
him-
we have
let
a
him
problem
be
with
him.
him?
Let him be him.
Like,
No.
say Jonathan Majors is a gay dude,
but a
and
lot
that's
of,
the photo he likes. Now,
but he's not a gay dude. He's married to
Well, you still don't know that.
yeah,
He could still
I didn't know
be
he
gay.
was married.
Well, yeah.
Until
One,
just now.
Yeah.
to me, he signed on to do this shoot, so he knew what he was doing. Don't give him. I mean,
He
he's
doesn't
taking
have a
advantage of
problem
his
with it.
moment right
He doesn't
now.
have a
So
problem
I
with it.
wouldn't have a
Everybody
problem
else
with it.
does.
But
Yeah.
a lot of people who don't know anything about Black Americans will learn about the Black American culture through media, songs. That's
Are
why all
you
of them
more-
think we pimping and riding and pulling down on
Again,
hoes and all
what's
this.
more detrimental? That maybe they may think black men like to wear pink and cross their legs, or that we're gangbangers. All
Both.
of us are gangbangers.
Both. Because the image of a man is not like that.
And which image do you think is true?
Not, I mean,
Neither.
both can be true, and neither can be
The answer
true.
is none of them are true.
Yeah, it's each
It
individual.
doesn't matter what image. It could be a man in a suit,
But
and that would not be true.
if Ebony is going to
because
be
not
on,
every individual is going to be represented by any individual photo, and no
No.
photo is going to change the demeanor of any man.
but I think if this magazine cover is on sale in another country, South America, Mexico, whatever, they don't know any Black Americans there, right? And they see this image of a prominent, well-to-do Black American man, right? It might, because it'd be the same thing if he was on there with a gun with his pants sagged down with some drugs, some crack in his pocket, right? It would be the same thing. So imagery does matter because people, they don't know.
Why would that matter? The answer
Why
is
does it
You
matter?
say it matters. Why would it matter?
Because of perception matters, Juice. It matters what people think about you
How?
outside of it. It matters what people think about your community.
So some guy,
if they see a song, if they hear a song,
let me finish.
if they hear a
Some
song
guy
on the radio,
walking down the street,
if
if
they
they
hear-
this on a newsstand, why does that matter to any?
if they
black
hear a
man?
song on the radio
What he
about somebody
thinks.
pumping a pack and pulling up and taking pills and popping mollies and all
You
that,
assume he
and
knows
now
what
they
that
assume
is.
that you do that because they've heard that Black Americans do that through media and through songs and through the images they see on TV. That's not fair to you, but that's what they assume.
And
They don't
if-
think they. I don't do
And
that
if
shit.
they
But
thought
they,
every black man,
You
like,
never
if he
been
had a song about like I don't know.
you never walked into a store
doing
and somebody
taxes
you felt
and
profiled.
any song about doing taxes and a song about
That
whatever
wouldn't
the
sell.
F.
That shit ain't gonna sell.
But
What's
the
gonna
fact
sell
of the
is them
matter
pumping
is, it
packs.
wouldn't be true, right?
A pump a pack. That's what's gonna sell.
Like, who even knows the fucking pack is? How do you know this guy knows the pack is? You might think that's a dance move.
I'm just saying, imagery matters and perception does.
Imagery
And
does
this is-
matter, but it doesn't
This is their
matter.
choice to do it, though. I'm not
But
hating on it.
we're talking about amongst black people, because let's be clear. Let's be clear.
Mhm.
The only people who have any issues with this image are black men.
Well, that's
And
that's easy.
let me just be clear.
Easy.
It's a very
Black men.
specific,
Easy.
a very
Because
specific group of black men.
the only people who care about reparations are Black people, right? So, like, that we shouldn't say they shouldn't care because they're not Black. You care about-
reparations.
Wait, Hispanic
Lost
people
me.
don't care if Black people get reparations. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, where is reparations?
I'm
from?
talking about people caring about something that doesn't involve them. You're saying that Black men care about this image, but that doesn't mean that
Well, you were
every
just making
other
an argument.
race shouldn't care about this image.
I brought up black men because you brought up that.
So I'm
people-
saying Black people care about reparations,
I brought up
but
black
if somebody's
men.
white, they
I
should
brought
still
up-
care whether I get reparations or not. That's right.
I brought up black men being the only people that care about this image because you said we're concerned about how other people in the world view us.
Perceive us.
And I don't
Men-
think anybody really cares other than black men who seem to be the only people complaining.
You know why we
Where
care?
else do
Because
you-
it's our image.
Where else do you see?
I'm not a drug dealer or a dope dealer. When I walk in, you never walked into a store and felt like you were profiled, felt like they were watching you a little.
Not because they thought I might be too effeminate.
No, because they thought you were gonna steal something. Because they
But
seen
not 'cause
they
they
seen shit
thought I
on
might be
movies,
too
on TV,
effeminate. I
and,
don't know.
and videos where people steal and cheat and lie.
Have you ever not argued
Imagery
with an
matters.
Asian person because you thought they might whoop your ass with kung fu?
It's imagery matters, right? I don't know anything about Chinese
it's-
culture because I watched a Donnie Yen movie.
That's
The
stereotype.
problem
Right.
is stereotyping and not
There we
not
go.
true.
That's
Right.
But you
stereotype.
can't stop that. And also, it's not true.
But you can help it.
You can be
It
smarter
doesn't
than
matter if
it.
it's not true.
You
It
can be
matters
smarter
what
than
people
it.
perceive is true.
You can be smarter than it.
It matters what people perceive is true. It don't matter what's true. What they perceive is true is what matters.
Why does it matter? Why does it matter what people perceive about you?
Because you don't know me. I can't assume that I know about Chinese culture from watching a martial arts film, right? But I don't know anything about Chinese culture, right? So like you have to draw inferences from the media you see, the pictures you see, the images you see, the videos you see. You have to. I told you a story about a guy foreigner I was talking to at work who said they learned something about Black Americans. Oh yeah, I saw people doing that on TV. Well, you can't learn about Black people on TV. But he was like, I don't know any Black people, so that's all the only thing I had to go on.
Also, check this out. Check this out. Say you have a presumption, you have a something you picked up from TV that you thought might have been true, and then you find out that it's not. What do you do then?
There you go. No, that's just called your perception versus what's true, right? So like if I talk to Black Americans, I realize they're not all effeminate. They're not all gangsters and gangbangers. Some of them are smart and decent, and so you got to talk to people to find out. But the imagery you send out to the world to people who don't know any Black people or Chinese or Asian or white or anybody, that imagery matters because that's what you perceive as the truth. You don't know them, right? So I'm not hating on Jonathan Majors for this.
So what are you saying?
I'm not hating on him. I'm not hating on him, but I can see how people would have a problem with that. Come on, you guys could have been a better
look. Nobody has a problem with this photo.
Would it have been better?
Very few people in the Black community.
Would have been better if he was on there in a business, like you said, a business suit, looking debonair, dapper. You know what I'm saying?
Would it have been better?
Would it have been better than this picture? To me, it would have been.
It wouldn't have
been. That would have been a more positive image.
This is
to send out to the world. I'm not saying this is negative, but it is effeminate.
I agree.
It is effeminate.
I agree.
I think this is cool. Like
this
is edgy as shit.
Crossed.
Hey, remember when Cameron came out there with a pink polo?
And people questioned it.
Holy shit!
Yeah, people questioned it.
Gay? And he was like, "Nah, son." And then I was like, "Oh."
And then because first of all, right. First of all,
and that was it.
Cam was rapping for about 15 years before he did that. Okay, and Cam came out. We knew who Cam was because we heard all his album. Okay, and Cam came out with a pink Range Rover, a pink polo. That was like this little gimmick for that time, And Cam wasn't on the cover of Ebony. This is a widely regarded magazine. I mean, I don't read Ebony, but
Now, I just like to say. So.
And Jonathan Majors do got a schnoz on him, though. I'll point that out. I know that's a Black stereotype. Is that a stereotype?
Hey, so all of his other work he's done means nothing.
What if they didn't want to cover in a cane?
All of his other work, you talking about Cam did all this other stuff. He did all this other stuff.
Right.
So now he's gay and effeminate because of a magazine.
Well, look at what's happening. You got Ant-Man coming out. The magazine, you got Creed. This is the perfect storm for him to. This is all good for him. This is all great for Jonathan Majors' career. Like even the controversy.
We're not talking about his career.
Like you said, most of the people who do have a problem are Black men because that is the image argument.
So you're talking about So you're basically talking about him using his platform in this way. It's detrimental to us as a people. Is that what you're saying? Because he has a large platform.
It's not detrimental to me because nobody. I don't care what other people think, but I can see, and you too can too. You're acting like you can, but you can too. How that image being sent out to people who do not know very many Black American men can taint the way they think about. So if this guy is popular and this guy made it,
I'm gonna straight up say like I don't see.
No. Show the whole photo.
I'm talking about this. Sorry, go ahead.
Like I'm straight up saying I don't see why or how, and actually I don't care why or how other people will perceive us as us all. Generalizing like this person, us all as effeminate based off of this one picture from this one man.
It's the same way somebody will look at a movie and see and draw inferences about Black Americans. Or they like to sag their pants. They like to do drugs. They're not as loyal to their women. They leave their children. It's the same thing.
But
some white people do. Yeah. Some Asian people do.
Yes.
Right?
But you're
right.
Exactly. But you're a Black American.
Right.
So but you're a Black American, and as a Black American, you know more than most anyone else that's not a Black American who might be seeing this that doesn't know about Black Americans, about how we are and who we are. Right. But at the same time, you also don't know everything about Black Americans, about how we are and who we are.
Right.
There could be Black Americans just like this. There could be Black Americans.
I'm sure there are.
But at the same time, what does it matter?
That's just perception matters.
Perception
I'm
matters
sorry,
to
it
who?
does.
Does it matter to you?
It matters to the world. Yes,
it doesn't matter to the world.
How
It
the
matters to the
world
individual.
views
It
Black
matters to the
American men
individual.
should matter to all of us.
No.
It should.
It doesn't matter to me.
Maybe okay. It doesn't matter
you
to me
can't
either
help it.
personally because I don't care about the world's opinions. I am who I am, right?
Right.
And I'm comfortable in my skin.
Right.
But perception does matter. If you think if you think a company is a bad company, are you willing to purchase from them? No, because perception matters, right? So like if the world is perceiving that Black men, Hollywood is the feminine. Now let's point
It's
out
not the world.
he's talking about Hollywood specifically. He's not talking about the world. I know you zoomed in on what Boyce said.
Let me read so Claudia made a couple points here. Let me just read these notes real quick because they're actually really good points. So one thing she says is that one, pink used to be a male color until just a century ago. So we all know that's a fact.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's very recent that pink was described as a girl's color.
I don't think a lot of people
because it's social.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's social. It's nothing factually male about blue.
Until about when ago? 100
About
years?
100 years ago?
So
about a century?
3 lifetimes? Our lifetime? So definitely our lifetime has been a female color.
Okay.
Right. So it's a female color.
It's literally not. Okay. Right. The next part is this is showing that he is safe in his masculinity, which means he's confident, which is what I'm saying earlier.
And he got a big ass check for doing that too. That helped too. Because if they wasn't paying him, would he have done that?
What do you think he got the big check for?
What if
this
did,
magazine cover?
He didn't pick this pose himself. He didn't pick this pose himself. This is prestigious.
Who's paying more, Ebony or the producers of Creed?
This is a prestigious thing to be on the cover of an Ebony magazine. It's prestige and money.
Because a shit ton of people.
All right,
so because we're talking about
it. So just take.
And he didn't pick to wear this himself.
You don't know that.
Guaranteed there was a stylist there. Hey, this is what we're going to have you dress in. This is where we're going to have you sit. Hey, try this pose out. Try this.
You're assuming this.
Well, that's how photo shoots go. I mean, they suggest different pods. Now they took 100,000 pictures, but they suggest different postures, different stances that you should do. And this is the one that made the cover.
But you also don't know that maybe he could have done this. Maybe he could have done this for some sort of charitable reason. Mm-hmm. Like he could have done this because he feels close to something having to do with the photo shoot.
What?
And again, big ass check.
There could have been some imagery of what he was supporting on the front. I mean, because we don't see any.
No, again, these are all assumptions.
I personally think
I made that assumption.
Boots mixed with pants.
You wouldn't even wear those pants. You wouldn't wear that shit.
I support them.
You wouldn't wear the pants.
I support them shits.
Does he have on boots?
Yo, I'm saying
they're boots pants.
I mean, like really looking at it, those colors are dope.
Yeah, this shit,
bro.
lit,
The
man.
colors are
I
dope.
don't know what to tell you, yo.
I'm not saying it's not artistic. It's very artistic.
He's literally an artiste.
I'll give it that.
I agree with Claudine about him being comfortable in his masculinity to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because
soft, weak people in them. Here's one thing.
People
everybody
are the people who are out here fucking taking it out.
Insecure
on him.
people write shit like this.
Like that.
That's an insecure person.
Because they automatically
because he's worried about everybody else.
Yes, they automatically also make it personal.
Yeah, nobody's talking to you, Boyce Watkins.
Because
this ain't about you.
Because
and
unfortunately, for a large majority of the Black community, we run to celebrities and entertainers as leaders, right? Who's your main leaders? Who's the main? When there's a political going on, where do these candidates go for support? They go on Hot 97. They go to all these hip hop stations, right? Like, so entertainers and, they see what Denzel says about something. Oh, Denzel said this about this issue. So this is
for Denzel.
Right, but it's come on. They get pushed to the forefront. LeBron James and most of our leaders are entertainers. They're not intellectuals, right? Unless you're talking about like Neil deGrasse Tyson or my man. I mean, we know some of them.
So you're saying we shouldn't do that?
We shouldn't. I mean, you don't run to a comedian. I don't think the white community runs to a comedian to be their intellectual leader, but we will. We'll listen to what Dave Chappelle says. Who's their intellectual leader?
Who's the white people's intellectual leader?
Any candidate? Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, business tycoon, business types.
Is that true? Do you think people check on? Do you think people see an issue and be like, "I wonder what Bill Gates has to say about this"?
Definitely, money talks. Yeah. Bill Gates has a huge influence in Congress and government.
I think people who are actual thinkers
think for themselves.
And make that decision themselves. Nobody's checking for Bill Gates to see who he's voting for.
You're not, but I think the white community is. Just like we're not checking. We're not checking for what Jonathan. We're not checking for what he says.
I think he made that up.
No, stop it. Okay, when Bill Gates speaks on the vaccine, was that not big news?
What the hell is that got to do with this?
Because we're talking about what his influence and who they look to as leaders.
The guy who made.
So when Bill Gates commented on the vaccine, did it make news?
The guy who helped create a vaccine at a time we had a pandemic and people were dying.
Right. But we looked at him to see what do you have to say about this, right? So who's that person in the black community that we run to and say, well, what do you think about this vaccine? If they go to LeBron James, they go to basketball players, they go to actors.
Let me say this.
They go to Denzel and say, what do you think about this vaccine, Denzel?
If Bill Gates made a new update to some Windows program,
right?
Will we be checking on him with the vaccine? No, because he didn't do a Windows program. He made a vaccine for the disease. He made a vaccine for the virus.
Okay, it was still national. It was still big news.
It was relevant.
Yeah, it was still big news.
It was because it was relevant.
Okay, but what you saw any black person comment on it, who was it? Is it an athlete or a business tycoon, right? So actually, we do run to celebrities. So the imagery that celebrities project does matter, especially when you're dealing on the international scale. I've seen commentary
from black doctors about the virus.
Yeah, we talking about YouTube because I've seen that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm talking about nationally. Like you can find anything on YouTube. I can find.
What are we talking about?
I'm talking about national news articles that come out on Ebony, articles that come out on the Insider, articles that news articles. Dude, come on, you're just playing around and jumping from. What's this? What's that? But you know what I'm saying.
Last point. Connie said South America also has black people. It doesn't matter if a person is American or not. He's still black. So do you think if it was do you think that if it was a Brazilian black man dressed like that would affect us?
But it's not a Brazilian black man.
So,
and I'm sure there are Brazilian black men who.
My question was,
he's not a Brazilian black guy.
My question was, if that was a Brazilian,
he's a black American man, and there is a difference.
My question, you want to answer my question?
People do differentiate black Americans from black Brazilians.
Do you think if that was a Brazilian black man up there, that would affect us?
I'm pretty sure that has been a Brazilian black man.
Would that affect you?
This picture, particularly here, does not affect me. It doesn't affect me personally because I am my own person. But the perception of how black Americans are perceived does matter when it comes to the world of celebrities and entertainment. It does.
Everybody looks at
everybody thinks that you're a rapper, you're a gangster, and all this. When they hear
advice on
21 Savage, when they hear 21 Savage rapping a song about popping a pill, they do have imagery that it invokes in their mind that they think that black Americans are like. When they hear that song, oh shit, this song is cool. Oh damn, I got to slap my girl now.
I think this is one of the overall problems with society, like not just these days, but just for a long time now, is that people don't know how to think for themselves, so they look to these people with these platforms, and even you said it yourself, they are not intellectuals, right? Stuff like this, it doesn't affect me personally, it doesn't affect you personally, so you say, right? So like, what does it matter if this man, whether he affects the perception or cognition of black Americans or black people or not, or whatever, what does it matter? What does it matter to us as a whole? Is it going to knock us down even more than we already have been over generations?
But
is it going to make us? Is it going to somehow help us?
If
help the other cultures feel sorry for us because of this portrayal?
What's the impact?
It does matter because if most of the black American leadership that's pushed to the forefront are celebrities, athletes, and entertainers, and they think that all black Americans should either sell drugs, be bad to the women, dribble a basketball, catch a football, or pose like this, right?
Or pose like
that.
This.
Perception does matter, Juice. And Frank, it does, man. Now, it doesn't matter to us because we know who we are. I know who I am. So I know I'm not good at basketball. I can't be LeBron James. But if somebody who doesn't know Black Americans think that, well, Black people like to play basketball.
Hey, you know what
Black
else
people
matters?
like chicken and watermelon, right? Black people, that's I seen on
Those are-
TV.
these are
Hey,
Everybody,
stereotypes,
what
though.
matters?
That's-
What else matters?
but
What
that's
matters
what it
that
is.
there's a
It's
Black
all
Spider-Man.
stereotypes.
What
It's all
matters is that
stereotypes.
LeBron James can
So
score high.
black
and
men are
make
terrible to their
improvements
women.
in
That's a
social
stereotype,
society.
but that perception matters. It does. It
So
doesn't
there's
matter
a bajillion
us
other good
personally.
things. All right. So what else has he done that is good for Black men? That's not this magazine cover. If this is what
Jonathan
the concern
Majors?
is. Yeah. What else has he done?
Play Kang, you know what I'm saying? That's the most recent thing they did. That was cool. I like that. Like I said, me
You
personally,
ever
I'm
watched-
not hating on Jonathan.
He's a prolific Black.
Take
actor.
advantage. Take
He's a
advantage
prolific
of your
Black
moment.
actor in Hollywood.
Take
That's-
advantage of your moment, man. Okay, you need to get as much exposure as you can right
still
now.
don't
This
know
is your
what
moment in
argument
time.
is. So I'm gonna say what the
I
argument
think you
of
do.
Boyce
I think you're
Watkins.
just trying to win it.
Then say it. What is the argument?
That this does evoke effeminate imagery to the perception of Black men in America.
Therefore,
That's the point.
No,
That's
no,
the point.
that's
That's
not
what
the
we're
point.
arguing, and
Yeah,
I think
what's-
that's what Boyce is saying.
and therefore that
But what
means
does it matter? That's what we're.
It
trying
matters
to-
for the sake of conversation. I mean, what does the
sake
what
of
does the
conversation
what does
is
the
no
light
points.
story? What does the
We're just
lightsaber story matter?
we
Just
just-
for the conversation, right? Like
Oh,
I mean,
the
I just
fact
told
that we're
the story.
talking about it-
But we're talking about this show like it matters.
I mean, that's why we're here podcasting, right? Like, it's just if it didn't matter to you that it
Yeah,
didn't evoke
the
imagery, you
lightsaber
wouldn't talk
story.
about it.
The lightsaber story mattered because I want to do it.
Right, and this story matters because we're sitting there talking about it. All right, so it matters that we're having a conversation.
no,
That's
no,
what
no,
makes
no,
it matter.
No, what does it matter in the sense of what?
I mean, I
what this
get it,
would do,
but that's
what
kind
this
of a
would do to
roundabout
detriment?
conversation. Like, it doesn't matter.
Ant-Man
But
review
then again, it
mattered
does.
because Ant-Man review mattered because we saw the movie and we wanted to
There are
rate it.
people
We
getting
wanted to-
blown
and we
up in
wanted to-
Ukraine right
and
now.
we wanted-
Ant-Man movie
We're
does
not
not
talking
matter.
about that shit.
But that's what we're talking about.
No,
That's why it
I'm
matters.
telling you why it matters right now.
It matters
Ant-Man
because that's what
movie
we're talking
mattered
about.
because we watched it and we have complaints and critique.
But on the grand
And
scale of
criticism.
things, Ant-Man doesn't matter, bro. Like, it doesn't.
On the grand scale of things, this don't matter.
Right.
So what do you? So why are we
Conversation.
talking about it? What?
Same reason you're talking about it. Conversation,
No,
motherfucker. That's what we're talking about.
We're talking about this.
We just disagree.
Then
You
why
don't
is-
think
no.
that this provokes
This is
effeminate
why-
imagery.
This is
I
why
do.
he's saying it
That's
matters.
why it matters.
Stop. This is why he's saying it matters.
Right.
That's why so many of your men are weak and defeated. That's
Now,
why.
what does that matter?
Here. That's
What does
why.
that matter?
That's why he thinks this matters.
Right.
And that's why,
That's why he
we're
thinks it
talking
matters. But
about
why
it.
does it?
Because he thinks
Because we're
this
talking about it.
reflects
That's why it matters.
on men
All
in
black men.
society.
Yep.
He's talking about men in general.
He
He's saying-
also points out
he's
before
making-
that,
he's
ladies,
making a
this is how
prescription.
Hollywood
He's
defines
making-
black masculinity.
Yes.
He said this is how Hollywood does it.
That's why.
Not the world,
to the-
Hollywood.
Yes,
Oh, but
that's what he's
Hollywood is a
saying.
huge
To the
platform now.
extent,
So is Ebony.
to the point,
It's
that's
a
why
huge
so
platform,
many
right?
of
So
your
imagery
men
does matter if it's such a big
are
platform.
weak and defeated.
Imagery does. If it's
You
such a
haven't
big
stopped talking-
platform, it does matter. Right?
What?
It matters because we're
Sorry?
talking about the issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people dying in Ukraine. Ant-Man Quantumania don't matter.
So if nobody talked about this, we wouldn't be talking about this.
Would we?
That is a redundancy and not a point.
So
worth
it's
making.
saying it doesn't matter. It's a redundancy. It matters because we're having a conversation on it. That's why it matters. It doesn't matter what me.
So why are we talking
when we
about
leave
this,
it, when we stop this,
Why are
because
we
it's-
talking about this?
because it's interesting and it's thought provoking and it's
So you don't
sparking
think?
conversation.
So you don't think that the femininity of this man matters?
I don't think he's.
You don't
effeminate.
think that this?
I don't
you
think he personally
that
is effeminate.
if this photo is effeminate, you don't think it matters.
I do think it's effeminate. I do
And
think
do
it
you
matters,
think-
but it just doesn't matter to me personally.
Wait, does it matter or does it not matter?
It does and it doesn't.
Does
Right?
it matter to you personally?
Because once we end this podcast, will any of us talk about this?
Probably.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going to argue with
I
people.
mean,
with this
none of us are
online.
going to talk about.
I'm going to
Boyce
argue with
Watkins and-
people with this online.
So it
I
doesn't
guarantee
matter, but it matters right
I
now.
guarantee I'm gonna
It
argue
matters
with
while the
people with this
camera's on
online.
and we're talking about it. So,
I just told you it does matter because I'm gonna be arguing with people with this online.
well, I would say that I don't feel. I'm not
So
the
you
only one who
don't
feels the way
care.
I
You
do.
don't care that you think this is an effeminate image.
I do care. I mean, but
What do you care
for
about?
conversation's sake,
To what ends? What are you worried about?
with the imagery that this projects,
Which is,
femininity.
and that's a problem because
This is not.
It's
going
the
to
same. It's the same problem that you keep talking about redundancy. It's the same problem that everybody thinks that you have to pump a pack, be bad to your women.
but is it true?
Imagery and
But
perception.
is it true? And can we help it?
That's why it doesn't matter.
Is it true?
But it
And
does
can
matter
help?
because it's perception.
But is it true? And can we help it? What other people think?
Well, then
We can't control that.
You can't control it, but
So if he takes a
other people
photo,
think it.
if he does a photo shoot and he's wearing pink and he crosses his legs, and it doesn't matter, and if other people might think that's effeminate, whether or not it's true, and we can't change their perception. Like, doesn't matter, especially if it doesn't matter to you.
If
it doesn't matter to you, we could drop this right now.
Imagery doesn't matter, right?
This photo shoot is not going to make one iota of a difference
In the world
of how people may think of us, may not think of us, whatever. It doesn't it doesn't matter.
We can say that. We can say that, and neither does a Drake song, right? Neither does a 21 Savage song, right? But that's the things that people are going to see and hear years from now.
That's about perception, though.
So is this.
Maybe the 21 Savage
so is this.
song.
When this magazine cover goes out to 30 million people,
maybe the 21,
perception is
maybe the 21 Savage song or the Drake song doesn't really fucking matter at all in the end.
It doesn't. I mean, but neither does Ant-Man Quantumania. It's just for
matter,
conversation's sake. You know what I'm saying?
I told you why Ant-Man mattered. I told you why the lightsabers mattered.
I mean, dude, are we talking about on the grand scale of things?
Why does Boyce Watkins have a problem with this? Let's argue with Boyce Watkins here. All right, since we can't pin down an argument here. I mean, why does Boyce Watkins think this is a problem?
We would have to get Boyce Watkins in here and sit him down.
Right. Why do you think Boyce Watkins thinks
Boyce Watkins is an insecure piece of shit?
Oh, Boyce Watkins is an insecure piece of shit.
He also might be.
Boyce Watkins voices empowerment for Black people all over the place. Starting your own business, investing in stocks, Black empowerment, family.
When you say things like that's why so many of your men are defeated and weak.
He's talking to Black women, right?
He's blaming
that's
one thing.
Toxic?
He's blaming one thing.
I don't think
he's blaming Black masculinity as insufficient. First off, he thinks Black masculinity is only defined in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Two,
well, when Hollywood sends out most of the media imagery that is presented to the world about Black people, then yes, it is.
So Black people's personal
they're in movies.
So Black people's personal experiences with masculinity don't matter. Is what you're saying?
Well, not on the grand scale because those are not. That's not what's going out to the masses.
Perception
Hollywood is going out to the masses.
So we talk about.
So what you do on your Instagram is not. This is going out to millions of people.
Perception versus reality, and your perception is clashed with the fact that it's not real because reality is real. What does one do when presented with that? Do you change your perspective?
I don't know to tell you. You have to get Boyce Watkins in here to defend his view.
I'm not arguing with Boyce Watkins. I think Boyce Watkins is wrong. I already know he's stupid.
Okay. All right. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Okay.
I think Boyce Watkins thinking that.
I don't think so.
I'm not going to bring up the cop comment.
This right here. So this right here. Oh my God. No, the cop comment. No, this right here. That's why so many of your men are defeated and weak. This right here puts us all down. Yeah. I'm not even talking about just Black men.
So many of your men.
You know, defeated. He used the word.
But we know who he's talking about. Who? But he said that's how Hollywood defines Black masculinity. So he's talking to Black women with the next sentence. That's why so many of your men are defeated and weak. Not all of your men. So many of your men. And hey, we do know that there is a lot of struggling inner city.
He might as well have said all.
He didn't though.
Because here's what you can't
draw your own inference. You got to go with what he said.
But also, here's the picture he put up when he said this. So many. He put up the picture of one of the leading Black actors of our time period right now.
Easily, that recent leading Black man. Okay,
right now,
recent.
Yeah. Is that wrong?
Right.
That's not wrong. He's everywhere.
Okay, so they could have had a picture of him.
This successful Black man.
They could have had a picture of him in a nice suit. They could have had a picture of him in Creed.
This successful Black man is why men are defeated. Is that true?
That kind of imagery.
Is it
true? We know that art imitates life, and we know that people mock what they see on TV, in magazines, and film and media. We do.
But to your point earlier, you said that he's not the one that may have decided on this.
Guaranteed he didn't. Guaranteed he didn't.
Okay, so then what is it? So then why
he agreed
is it?
To it though.
Oh,
so then why? So then why? What does it matter that he is the one portrayed here if it wasn't his idea? Just because he signed on to it.
Now they could have got anybody they wanted to sign on to do it.
Is that him selling out?
But we know
he's selling out.
Did he sell out with this?
Oh,
no, he didn't sell out. So I'm not saying I would have did it, but I'm not hating on the man.
Me personally done it. How much would it cost?
Could I be on the front of, I would have been on that joint too. Pucker. Look at the whole thing, man.
Wait a minute though.
Lips pucker,
That might be a
legs
personal
crossed,
situation then.
legs crossed. It does evoke a femininity, dog. It
But
does.
again, not his idea.
Dude, there are lots of
They could have had him on there in a
cross their
suit.
legs.
Again, to your
They
point.
could have had him on
To
there in
your
a suit
point.
with his legs crossed.
To your point,
So?
not his idea, right? Not his original idea,
Mhm.
right? It could have been that he.
Look, no
It could have
shirt,
been that-
greased up,
It could have been that he should have showed up for the paycheck.
If
Right?
it
He
was,
could've just showed
and
up for
the
paycheck.
prestige.
Like, but so the fact that it's him there, but it's not his idea. It
I'm
could have
not
been
hating
some
on
white person's idea. It could have been some other culture,
Mhm.
some other Asian person, Indian person, Spanish person's idea. The fact that this inference is made just because it's him,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he has a big platform right now. He's
Okay,
a
I
very
got it.
prolific
Hold
black actor right now.
Mhm.
Just because it's him and this inference is made, there's a problem fundamentally.
No, that's
with-
his personal
with
opinion.
this.
Okay, he thinks that the imagery that they're presenting here
Okay,
is
but
the reason
does
why
his opinion
men,
matter? Does his opinion
why
matter?
so many men are to a lot of people it does. I mean, his videos.
but what if his opinion matters and he's wrong?
the same way? Well, then that's your choice.
That's
to
where
choose
I was
whether
going.
you
Thanks
think
for jumping there.
No, sorry.
that's your choice to choose whether you believe he's right or wrong. Same,
I don't know,
same
man. I
thing. You
think
can
he's flat out
same
wrong.
reason you can choose whether Neil deGrasse Tyson is right or wrong. Or
Depends
Joe
on what
Rogan
we're
is
talking
right or
about.
wrong.
Hey, let me guarantee you.
You have your own.
you know I like
opinion
Neil
to
deGrasse
feel
Tyson.
your own form of
You
opinion.
also must know that this nigga been wrong on stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can think he's wrong. You
I
know?
do think Boys
I'm not saying Boys is wrong, but I can see why they're saying that. But what is this for Chadwick Boseman on here with the same thing?
What if it was Chadwick Boseman?
That's
on
an
that?
interesting one. Yo.
What if
We'll
it
do
was
what
Chadwick Boseman on
Would
that?
we feel the same? Would you feel like Chadwick
Would
Boseman?
he feel the same?
Do
And
you
if he
think-
did, and if he
It would
did
be
feel
the
the
I think
same.
it
same,
would.
It would
I think it
literally
would.
be the same situation.
I
If
think
he did the
I think
same,
it'd be a
on
little
the
bit
same
bigger
argument.
because Chadwick was coming off Black Panther, and I think like that movie. Come on, we know a lot of black people went to see that just because
but what if
it
he
was
did
Black
feel
Panther.
the same exact circumstances, same everything, and this comment came out?
I think it'd have been bigger than this.
You would do you but do you
I don't
do you
think it
feel
would have
like
mattered.
do you
just
feel
like
like
this don't matter.
do you feel like you can still see why people would say things like that about Chadwick Boseman being in this position?
Yeah,
But like
Yeah.
you know,
I think it's 10 times. I think it's bigger because if Chadwick Boseman came out with Black Panther, and then this magazine cover comes out, and then he comes out with another movie after that, after his unfortunate passing, Endgame or some Civil War or something. I think this is bigger because Black Panther was like a cultural.
that
First movie was like, I mean, people
That
were
was
like,
a
"Oh, this is the
phenomenon.
first time we ever seen." He was in Civil War like 2 years ago, guys. Okay, so you didn't even watch Civil War, but you went to see Black Panther.
Wait, I'm
Right.
confused. So you think that if Chadwick Boseman was in this position, and
he thinks it would have been bigger.
I
right?
think it would have been a
would've
bigger
been-
controversy
you think it would have been a bigger problem?
amongst the Black community.
You think it would have been a bigger problem?
No, it's not a problem. Okay,
Is it not a problem?
it's an issue amongst, like you said,
I thought this was
Black
a
men.
problem this whole time. It feels like there's a problem when he says this is why so many of your men are weak in the are defeated in the weak. That implies there's a problem here.
Well, in his opinion, it implies there's a problem.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what. Since I can't pin down your argument, D.
Now,
this
in
is
my
where
opinion,
this
I
is what we
think-
got to debate.
In my opinion, I
Do you
think I
agree-
can see why.
Do
people
you
would
agree
think
with
this is a
Boyce
problem.
Watkins? Is he wrong or right on this?
He's entitled to his own opinion.
Is he wrong or right though? In
Do
your
you agree with
perspective,
it?
You
I
agree.
agree with this is how Hollywood defines Black masculinity. I
Okay.
could kind of agree with that because
Is it-
Hollywood has been known. That's not the only way they define it. That's one way they define it in you selling drugs and doing it and being a gangster
Overly
and
violent.
sagging and violence and dark. You can't trust them and all. They define it that way too. But I think that's one of the ways they do it.
and then they define him as a cowboy, and then define him as a boxer, and define him as a man who just left Vietnam, who's trying to make a way for himself in a racist world, and they define him as a king, the conqueror.
But guess what? None of those images made the cover of Ebony.
Good.
Yeah, it's really good. I
Huh?
gotta rewatch
None of those images made the cover of Ebony, so those don't really.
Because these are images
No,
from
those are-
actual
those are
movies
Those are images
Right.
from the studio.
Actual shows.
I mean, I get it, but
with
no,
context,
but none of those
as opposed
that
to this.
that made
Just
the cover.
a single photo
Yeah.
on a magazine, which most white people don't read.
But guess what? They're
I
not going
don't
to read
know
it because
why-
you don't read it.
I
I don't
don't-
read it, but they're going to see the cover.
So
They're going to see the cover.
and,
they don't
and-
gotta read it
And
to
guess
see
what
the
they're gonna
cover.
do? They're gonna look at the
That's
cover,
why being on the
and
cover
they're
is
gonna be like-
prestigious. It doesn't matter.
and they go right past that.
They
They'll be
only
like,
form their opinion in their head after they've seen the cover. It doesn't matter. That's
They
why
gonna
being
look at
on the
that
cover.
cover and they gonna
That's
look
why
right
being
for
on the
Rolling
cover is
Stone.
such a prestigious.
They saw this
position.
cover in a quest for Rolling Stone. That's when they saw this
man,
cover.
come on, man.
And they
Not
didn't
all
think
white
about
people
it.
read Rolling Stone, man. All right?
Every white person
Come
reads
on,
Rolling
man.
Stone.
No, they don't, man.
Every last one of them.
And only black people read Ebony.
Yes, and only black people read Ebony.
I'm not hating on.
Black people read no other text, but
I'm not hating on, man. I say take advantage of your moment. Do your thing. I don't think any less of you.
Claudine made a comment. You think you're talking as if people couldn't think for themselves and see Black Americans as the only representation of blackness. We, black from the outside, know better. So even again, black Americans aren't the only representation of blackness anyway.
I think people do think for themselves in response to Claudine. They do think for themselves. Each individual person does. But imagery and perception through media and TV and music matters.
I agree with that 100%.
100%.
I agree that it matters.
So
right?
because
I also agree that there's parts that are not toxic. And I think that when you have representations
this is not
of
toxic.
Let me finish. I didn't say exactly my point.
Yeah.
My perspective is if you have a portrayal of black men as overly violent, overly ignorant, overly over the top. Let me finish. Yeah, the world will start to think that. Now, what I don't see as a problem, and I think that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That is part of the reason why we have the perception of people saying or treating black people certain ways. I mean, aside from the racist society we live in, which is existed before we had TV, which existed before we had TV, right? But also, there's also the representation of. I don't think there's a problem where black people are portrayed in other forms. Like here, a decade ago, more positive forms. This will be a more positive form. A decade ago, maybe even 20 years ago, any representation like this would have been renounced, and they would have said, "No, that's gay. Why is he dressed in pink? Or that's gay. Why ain't his pants sagging? Or that's gay. Why didn't he have a shirt on? Or that's gay." Anything. They done made up so many other things. Mm-hmm. And they're like, that's gay. Because we all know the only acceptable representation of a black man is baggy jeans, a big, long t-shirt that reaches to your knees, right? And a fitted cap with the backwards or forwards, either way. Like, that would have been the only acceptable, reasonable representation of a black man. And we know that's not true, right?
Man, you say 20 years ago, and that's just 2000. Fuck.
I'm just saying, man, like, time moves so fast, and fashion is so fluid, right? Like, it doesn't matter, man. Like, this shit is cool. Like, this is a positive representation. Cool? This is a positive representation.
You wouldn't wear that.
Where?
You wouldn't wear. Where would you wear that? Would you wear that cape? Would you wear that? Nigga, like, I mean, just to wrap yourself in and go out there. You know, I got to run the store.
Personally,
not
me personally. I would. Not me personally, but at the same time.
This is a photo shoot.
I can appreciate business. At the same time, I can still appreciate the fashion sense here. This is dope.
It's artistic.
The colors are nice. The colors are nice. The outfit's pretty dope.
If I had the time or the interest, I would look up other Ebony covers.
Yeah. I want to see. I'm curious now.
Even in case other photo shoots where people may have dressed in outrageous outfits,
or other photo shoots.
Wait a minute, there might be another
one.
Or other photo shoots.
I have another one.
And again to that comment, like, we all have our own individual style. This is not exactly something that I would pick out, but I can appreciate that. I like the way this looks.
It's definitely artistic.
Like, he makes.
I just think his posture in it is very effeminate as well.
Where
men cross their legs all
the
time. And pucker their lips with no shirt on.
Where would you wear this?
In pink.
Where would you wear this?
That's not as a black is a very neutral color.
Where would you wear it?
And he's also holding his son, accompanied by his wife.
But where would you wear that?
I might wear the vest. I don't know about the leather pants.
Where would you do?
I could throw that on over a collar shirt.
So you go to work like that?
Somewhere. I mean, maybe.
You can go to the grocery store like that?
I mean, maybe if I was ASAP Rocky,
you gonna go to the mall?
You know?
I don't know. Like, where cats be going? You gonna go to the basketball game like
this
that?
Is not
the point I'm making.
This image here.
The point I'm making is that in a photo shoot, you might wear some ridiculous shit. Mm-hmm. That's the only point I'm making.
Right.
Because you might wear some ridiculous shit.
It's also not what he's wearing; it's how he's postured.
Did y'all see the photo?
ASAP Rocky is kissing his son.
Y'all see the photo of Lil Wayne with them big ass raggedy, the big ass ridiculous red boots?
Yeah.
What is the fucking Mega Man boots or something? The
Mega Man boots.
Dog. I was like, are those real?
Wait,
is that real?
Now, if I might be wrong, but I think he wore those in real life.
That shit ain't real, dog.
I think he wore those out and about.
Well, Lil Wayne is also a millionaire celebrity
All I'm saying
songwriter
is,
who
would
can.
you rock that?
I mean,
Joe?
have you seen some of the?
Would you wear it?
Have you seen some of the outfits that basketball players wear?
But
I mean,
would you wear it?
would you wear like a suit with the high ankle, the suit that end at the high calf?
This is all about individuality.
And-
It's all about
and-
thinking for yourself. If you have your own individual style, maybe you might not wear it,
And
but
also,
it does
it's
not
not
mean
only
it does
what-
not mean
Lots.
It's not only what he's wearing; it's how he's postured in while what he's
it
wearing.
doesn't mean
Okay?
that you. It doesn't mean
The
that,
whole
it doesn't
shebang.
mean that you or anyone gets to judge.
Now, is he postured? Well,
He's
you do get to judge because it's an image that you see in media. That's a judgment. You judge the image that you see. You don't have a choice. That's what we judge.
You do have a choice.
Yeah, you
we
don't have
we
to
judge
judge
it.
it.
If I
You don't have to
if I
judge.
see
Hey,
if
observation
if
in
I see a
itself
picture-
is not
observation.
judgment. Observation is not the
observation is a
equivalent.
judgment. You come to a
Observation
conclusion in your mind.
Not a
If I see a
judgment.
picture of a lightsaber
All right,
on an image of a
definitions.
lightsaber, I'm gonna say, "Damn, that's cool." Or I'm gonna say, "Nah, I wouldn't like that color." You come to a judgment. You conclude something in your
You can,
something.
but
Some
you
kind
don't.
of conclusion happens.
The
Okay.
conclusion is not a judgment.
That's not a judgment.
Yes, it is. What are you talking
No,
about?
a judgment.
I think
What?
definitions matter.
What? Wait a minute. So if I see a lightsaber and it's purple,
Uh-huh.
and my judgment, my conclusion is I don't like that color or I do like that color. That's not a judgment.
Okay.
It's not a conclusion.
Okay, so you don't like the color, but why did you?
I didn't say I don't like it, Frank. Don't take it personally. I know you picked purple. I know because he got
That's not about that. That's not about that at all.
I might not have picked purple.
That's not
I
about
might
that
have
at all.
gone
We
with
can talk
green,
about
but
that
yeah.
later.
We'll talk about that later.
No,
Yeah.
no, but it's like it comes to the point where you don't have to say, "Oh, I don't like that color." You could just say, "Oh, that's cool," and then you're like, "All right."
But that's a judgment. That's a judgment. That
Oh,
that's cool is a judgment.
No, that's
It's
just
a
an
conclusion.
observation. That's just an
I don't
observation.
know. Okay.
I like
Tomato,
the way this
tomato.
looks. I like the way this looks. That's cool. That's just an observation.
It's a judgment. I don't know.
It's not a
But
judgment.
if this is totally different than the other cover, in my opinion. He's kissing his son. He's with his wife. They're a family unit. Jonathan Majors is by himself. And okay,
But you associated these two images with each other. No,
only because
what was the problem?
they were two magazine covers, and we
Uh-huh.
had
No,
context.
because Boyce Watkins always have shit to say about that.
Yeah, he did have something to say.
Oh, you did?
I like
He did.
Boyce. I'm sorry, I don't know what y'all talk about, man. Boyce he's very positive on.
But you disagree with
Black
Boyce
people-
on this one.
Yeah,
So
I don't
it's
think
possible for him
that's
to be wrong.
because a lot of people, the images of Hollywood doesn't
could be
matter
wrong.
to a lot of people. It doesn't matter, but to a lot of people, it does. You know what I'm saying? It's like I know when we reviewed Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and I was like, well, the action wasn't there. The action. Somebody said, the action doesn't matter. It's not only about the action. Well, I mean, it kind of is. Like it's still a comic book movie in essence. You know what I'm saying? So like, images do matter, man. I don't know. What y'all want me to say? This is definitely not as effeminate as the other cover. Bro.
But it's like,
Sorry.
but like the femininity. All right, but the only issue, it's only a problem if you think it's effeminate. If you think it'll somehow, if being effeminate is somehow toxic, or
it's
being
wrong.
effeminate is somehow wrong.
Yeah.
Like, who cares if it's effeminate? We have to have space for effeminate people to exist.
They can definitely, yeah.
We have to have
Then
spa-
what
we
is
have to
the
have space
problem?
for-
What's the
we have to
targeting? What's the calling out of black men are being effeminate? In the event, whatever they mean by that, because I don't think that's what they mean. I don't think that's what they mean, but they say that the Jonathan Majors cover looks effeminate. So what? What does that mean? If it is effeminate in your eyes, what are you worried about?
Yeah.
Are you worried that
what is the end game?
I feel
here?
like they're worried? And here, let me just say, this is what I think they're worried about. I think they're worried about that an effeminate black man on the cover is going to make other black men
Insecure.
be more effeminate.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's what I think
imitates
their
life.
issue is.
People want to be like what they see in media.
So if art
shit, that
imitates
looks cool. I'm
life,
still
that
dressing
means
like
people,
that.
that
I'm
means
gonna
the
get that.
fact, and it is a fact, is that there are effeminate black men. Not every man is toting a long gun in his pants like the Joker.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
He definitely pulled that joint out of his drawers.
You didn't
yeah.
pull that joint. Like, not every black man is going to do that, Joe. Man, there has to be space for some black men to want to play basketball. And
There
here,
has to be-
some people will say that me as a black man who doesn't watch sports, I can't.
Oh,
I don't.
You must
sports
play
are-
basketball and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can't watch sports. It's boring as fuck to me. But they might think that's just effeminate, man.
Easy, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not effeminate. It's not effeminate
No,
at
but
all.
some people would say, "Oh, that's effeminate," because here's the issue: because it doesn't matter, right? They would say that's effeminate, or they would say that's someone say watching anime is effeminate for whatever reason.
Stop
Or
it.
watching anime is immature.
Even not watching sports is not.
immature.
Yeah.
It's
Well, you can say the same thing about video games.
They're
Watching anime
making a
is
prescription about people they don't fucking know.
Y'all still watch
That's
cartoons
the problem.
as adults?
If they put
like,
an
you know,
image
like-
of Jonathan Majors on the front of there playing Xbox, right? Like, are
And
people going to start thinking that all black dudes like to
No,
play
that'd be
Xbox?
a
Probably.
boring ass
But
photo
it's not
shoot.
true,
Nobody
right?
would fucking nobody will buy the magazine. That'd be a boring ass
I don't
photo
know.
shoot.
I don't know what to say about it. I don't necessarily agree with boys because I don't give a shit what Hollywood says, but I can see why their
I think you do,
perception
though.
does matter.
Because you think Hollywood is trying to make people more feminine.
Perception does matter, bro.
I don't think it matters. I think Hollywood, if anything, is giving men the opportunity, black men in particular, the opportunity to be something other than source cover material.
We have to make space for the differences, man.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not saying
always have
I'm
to
not
make
saying you
space
can't
for
be
it.
inclusive with this.
They called
Right.
gay forever.
Oh yeah.
But see,
Yeah.
the problem with that is Jonathan Williams is not effeminate, right? So he himself is not an effeminate man, right? From what I
Okay.
know, but they dressed him in effeminate imagery and put him on the
so
cover.
would you-
So
would you
that's
have-
the
You could wear anything.
issue there. Why
So
would you
let's
have to
say-
dress him
And
in
he
that?
was
You could have
cool with it.
So
you could have put him in a
let's
blue cape. You could have put him in a black
But
cape.
he was cool with it because it doesn't matter to him. That's the thing.
So
Because there's
respect
space-
to him.
Because there's space.
Hey, respect to
Because
him.
there's space for him to wear
So
whatever the
let's
color
say,
you want.
Let's say, and this actually might be a
Space.
real thing that's happening. So let's say Jonathan Majors is acting in a role
Mhm.
that requires him to be effeminate or homosexual.
Oh, that definitely
Or-
happens. Yeah.
So
happens.
what would you think about that? What if like Boyce Watkins Ripper had something to say about that?
It-
Would
it-
you say like, oh shit, he played
I'm
he
pretty sure
played a
Boyce
gay
does.
person. He played a gay person in this movie.
Mhm.
He's actually coming out with a bodybuilder movie that's on the independent circuit right now, but
Mhm.
apparently it's getting some buzz. So it might come out in theaters.
Yeah.
And in that movie, apparently he does have a homosexual relationship in the movie. So
I would say to me personally,
Is that making
just
other black men
acting?
gay?
Is that just acting, or does that make all Black Americans gay?
Is that gonna push the gay
it
agenda?
depends because more people will see this magazine cover in passerby than will see that movie. You know what I'm saying? So
Maybe
the
not.
imagery that
Maybe not.
he
Passerby
projects,
doesn't
maybe not
matter.
because
the
Jonathan
imagery that
Majors
he
is
projects
everywhere.
himself
Maybe
will
not.
be more impacted by this video.
Maybe
This
not.
image here.
Again,
I'm honestly
only
more
Black people
concerned-
read Ebony. Only Black. More
Read
people will
Ebony.
see. More
We're
people.
talking about looking at the cover.
More people will see. More people will probably see the movie. That movie, then will see this magazine.
More people have seen
Let
this
me say
magazine
this.
cover than will
Let
ever
me
read
say
Ebony.
this: I'm more concerned about the people who think that's gay than whether or not this is actually gay.
Mhm.
The people who see this and be like, "Ooh, that's gay." I'm wondering where their head is at
Mhm.
because I look at that Joe and I'm like, "That's fresh." Like, there's nothing gay to me about
Same-
this Joe, man.
same
Like,
here.
there's
There's
nothing
nothing gay
like,
to you about him
There's
dressed in
literally
pink
Period.
nothing
with his chest out, with his lips puckered, and his
I'm
legs
saying-
crossed. There's
I'm
nothing gay
saying-
about that.
Dude, bro.
I'm
I-
saying
Nothing.
You're talking about
not
glance?
gay.
You're
Not
talking
gay.
about
That's too strong.
glancing. You're
I'm
talking
talking
about
about
glance?
feminization.
You're
There's
talking
nothing
about-
effeminate about that to you.
Bro, this nigga whooped my ass. I
Probably.
guarantee it.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
not. I'm
A
not
lot of
looking
gay
at
dudes
him
would
like,
probably
oh,
whoop my
that's a
ass.
girl.
A lot of
There's
gay dudes will
nothing
fuck me
about
up.
that. There's nothing about that makes me think effeminate,
Bruh.
man. Like, I don't know. Maybe
Juice. Now,
I-
they
I-
said
I
pink.
don't
I
have
feel
a
like there's
problem with it.
projection, bro.
I
I
don't
feel like
have a
there's
problem with it
projection.
whatsoever.
Projection.
Mhm.
Projection.
I don't have a
Sorry,
problem with
bro.
this whatsoever. It's like it's straight up. Like I am just like I said, I'm okay with this. I don't care about like any perceived impact that this may have.
So
Like I'm okay with this. I look at it for the fashion sense. I think this is dope.
So Claudine pointed out that pink has been a feminine color for maybe the last 100 years, at least in American society, right? I'm not sure about
It would
outside.
take some time.
So that means our entire lifetimes,
So,
which means the people that dressed him in this, they knew that too, because it's been the pink, feminine color for their entire lifetime as well. So did Jonathan Majors, he knew it because it's been pink, it's been a feminine color,
here's what.
and yet they
So-
decided to do the whole image in pink,
So
the whole thing, the couch, the background,
So
the
Cameron,
B and
but
ebony,
that's
so
art.
the
Cameron
floor.
with his pink
his
but
plumber,
that just could be
and
for the
Cameron is
artistic
pink
sense.
polo and his pink everything
I bet
else.
you had,
That-
I bet you millions of
Cameron
people.
was like, you know what? I'm
First
a girl
of all,
now.
Cameron
I
wasn't
think
on the
anybody
front.
need to know.
I'm getting
First of all,
I'm gay
Cameron
now.
wasn't on the front of Ebony. and that's a prestigious
matter,
cover
bro.
to be on. Nobody, I bet you half the
Because
people that
only
saw
black
this
people
cover.
are complaining about this.
Read Ebony.
I bet you
Only black people are
nobody
complaining about this.
nobody read this article. They're seeing the cover.
Only a couple black Negroes are complaining about this.
And I bet you millions of
And
people,
the-
half
and-
the people that saw this image because of the controversy, which is
Look-
why it's good for Jonathan Majors.
Scroll
career,
right past that jump. Looking for
They
Rolling
scroll
Stone.
past it, but I bet you none of them know about Cameron dressing in pink. They probably don't even know who Cameron is. Okay, the community that Boyce is talking about being influenced, Hollywood.
Who is
Hollywood
he
probably don't
talking
even
to?
know who
Who's he
Cameron
talking
is.
to? Who's Boyce Watkins talking to?
In the first one, he's
Who's he
talking to
talking to?
ladies, the black ladies,
Uh-huh.
right? And then the
Uh-huh.
second one, yeah, he's talking to black
So you
women,
think
yeah.
none of them black ladies know about Cameron?
Okay, I'm talking about the whole thing as far as the controversy that's followed this shoot has led to
Again,
non-black people looking at this,
It comes
right?
down to the fact that there has to be
And I
space
bet
for black
you,
men to wear and do and present themselves how they
in
feel,
effeminate ways.
how they feel.
I think-
But does he feel like this?
If he
Was
came
married
out
to a woman?
if he came out Jones dressed as Barney, I'd be like, whatever, dude. Like, I'm not reading Ebony anyway, but whatever you want to do,
on the
bro.
most basic level,
If it was purple,
I think on the
good.
most basic level, it is because something like this, right? Perception or no, something like this is going against everyone else's perception of us, right? Everyone else's perception of us is one way. This is going against them. This is going against that. You know, maybe on purpose, maybe unintentional, whatever it is.
I think it's very stylized.
It doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter whatsoever. None of it matters.
Sorry, good.
Okay.
No, there was one point Boyce Watkins made in the video because I watched the video on this jump because I saw this, I was like, this nigga wild. But
Mhm.
so he made one point, and he said he looks like a gay pimp.
Well, he do got pinky rings on his chest out and a cape. You know what I'm saying? I know. I
Now,
saw Pimp Magic
hold
Don
on.
Juan and Laura Light
Hold
once,
on now.
and he had a cape on.
Now let's talk about something, right? In black culture, pimps have been one of the primary indicators of masculinity in toxic black culture.
Yeah.
Now, when you say he looked like
Definitely
definitely toxic, but when you say he looked like a pimp, a gay pimp, now what does a gay man do?
Yeah. Like, what's your definition of that?
Gay pimp was probably be the most toxic of masculine niggas because he out here pimping other niggas. Like, I don't know what. Like, if you worried about masculinity, he pimping other Negroes, other men. He pimping other men. Like, I don't know. Like, if that's not the top tier of masculinity, I don't know what. Here, and I make that point as a joke. But the fact of the matter is, something like this is only concerning to somebody who's insecure about their own masculinity, man.
Exactly.
Because regular dudes, we ain't think about this, Joe.
We
man.
don't care.
I don't care.
So
we don't
is,
care.
so is the
I
image.
do worry about actual social issues going on in the black community.
So
but this
is,
ain't one of them.
So is the image.
It's not important.
This ain't one of them, man.
So is the image of the black man selling drugs and playing basketball, right? Like, it doesn't matter to you personally because you're comfortable in who you are, but that perception that goes around the
Those are
world
perceptions I
does
fight
count.
against. Those are
It does
perceptions
count.
I fight against.
So
This
we can't
ain't
say
one.
that this don't matter because it
doesn't
does.
matter. This doesn't matter
It's
because it's not a
all
problem.
media. It's all media consumption. What do
This
I see?
doesn't matter because it's not a problem. How is this image a problem for black men?
Because he is a rising, budding star, and he is on the cover of he's on a prestigious cover,
and it's a problem because
celebrities
and it's
are
a problem
known.
because-
Celebrity culture is known to be imitated, right? And you know how I'd be
So
interested.
the
Boyce Watkins-
problem is
Boyce
you're
Watkins,
saying,
and
let me
you're
say-
down. Oh, yeah, you said,
didn't
let me
say
finish.
it.
Let me finish.
You didn't say it. You didn't.
You
You didn't
said
answer the question.
Boyce
What's the problem?
Watkins
What's the problem?
comes from the same generation as your dad. I'd be interested to see what your dad has to say about this because we know that the older generations
Probably
don't
some
play.
wrong shit.
They don't play. They don't like this
Hey,
kind
let
of.
me say,
Now, I'm not saying he's
my
wrong.
dad probably has some wrong shit to say about this.
He's not
And it'll be
wrong, but you got to
incorrect as
understand the
hell.
perspective that he has. That's not masculinity to him,
Old
you know. And you can't hate on somebody that doesn't
boomer
think that's a very
incorrect
masculine.
perspectives are not uncommon.
Dude, stop it.
Old
okay?
boomer incorrect
Because I'm
perspectives
not
are
an old bloomer, but quote unquote, I'm about to be 39 next month. Thank you. Thank you.
Still not
You
boomer.
know?
Hey, we're millennials.
No, you're right. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old bloomer too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't necessarily agree with this. So I agree with you that I don't think it comes down to when you were born, necessarily, but I would just be interested in what your dad has to say because, the older generations, we know they didn't like that. Pull your pants up, stand up straight. Don't sag your
Them
pants.
cats was wrong about a lot of stuff.
He
The
would
fact that they told
Boyce
people
Watkins-
not to sag their pants was stupid.
Boyce Watkins would probably have the
It was
same
stupid.
kind of if he was on there sagging his pants with a dope pack in his pocket trying to pump something to some crackhead or something like that. Boyce Watkins would probably say the same thing. Hey, black community, this is why your men and so many of your men are weak and defeated and locked up in jail. He'd have the same issue.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? I
So
think so.
maybe his issue's not with the image, but himself. Or
Stop
maybe
it.
his issue's not with
Stop
the
it.
image. Maybe his issue's not with what's going on out here, but what's going on in his head.
Stop it.
Maybe.
Stop it.
If he's gonna have the same commentary, now we're projecting.
I think the
you
freedom,
projected, or not projected, but you made that scenario up. So maybe not.
the freedom,
But it would imply that
the freedom to form your own opinion is one of the great things about America, and all of us can do that.
agree.
Including Jonathan Majors. Now, I form my own opinion, but you can't vilify me for that. You can't vilify Boyce. That's his
I can if
opinion.
it's wrong.
And a lot of people agree with him. So, are you wrong, or are a lot of those people that believe agree with him wrong?
They're wrong.
It just depends on your perception.
No, they're wrong.
I don't think they are.
Well, it depends. What are the values we talked about?
No,
What are the values you just said? The ability to make
Form
our
your own
own
opinion,
decisions.
No, to make our own decisions and form our own opinions,
Yeah.
right? Now, are they wrong? The first question is he wrong for doing a photo shoot and dressing the way he wanted to do for this photo shoot?
He didn't pick it, so I don't think
You
he's
don't
wrong.
know that.
I don't think he.
You literally don't know that.
They all
You
knew.
literally
They
do not
all
know
knew
that.
who
You're
decided to
assuming
dress
that.
him in that. They
But
knew those were feminine colors, and they dressed
Let's
him in them.
Let's assume that he made that decision to wear that by himself.
Guaranteed.
Assuming he did.
Something that came from
Assuming he
inspired by his
did.
own wardrobe.
Yeah, out of his
Hell no.
own closet.
Yeah.
Came out of the trunk. He got
Frank,
his
hell no,
grandma.
he don't got that cape in his wardrobe.
You
man.
don't know that.
You don't know that.
You
You're
don't know
assuming.
that.
But here, now the question is, if that's true, if in this scenario, is he wrong to do this photo shoot, or are they wrong for hating on him?
I definitely don't think he's wrong to do it.
Okay.
You take advantage of your moment, man. You can be here and be gone. Hollywood is fickle, right? Like, 1 minute you're on top, the next minute they hate you. So yeah, do your thing, man. I'm not hating on him. I'm still gonna go see the next movie that involves Kang or Creed, or I'm still gonna go see it.
So they're
It
wrong
doesn't
for
affect
hating
me.
on him for no reason.
I don't think they're wrong either because it's just your perspective, dog. Like, I don't think they're wrong, but
Perspectives can be wrong
I
by
think
definition.
you can see.
By definition, perspectives can be very wrong.
They can be. But when it's definitions of perspective by a mass number of people, then if there's a debate to be had, now who's wrong?
No.
Are
That's
you wrong,
that's
or all
dangerous
these
thinking.
hundreds of thousands of people over here wrong?
That's mob thinking.
It
Just
doesn't
because
matter,
more
that's-
people think a certain way is right,
That's what
Sorry, we
politics
should- we
is. That's
should
what
fight
debates
against-
are.
we should fight
Oh,
against
there's no
that.
such thing as global warming.
We should fight
Now,
against
are these
that.
100,000 people who believe there's no such thing as global
We
warming?
should fight
wrong?
against that with every iota of our being. We
probably
should back
should.
up our opinions with facts and evidence.
I don't know.
That's all I'm saying. Like, let's not be like, hey, because more people thought this way is right. Like, stop right there.
The colors and
You're not
the
going down
posture
that path. It's wrong.
just don't
That's
do
the
it for
problem.
me.
That's, I get it.
But hey, if I had that
You ain't gotta
body,
like
I'd
it.
be on that joint, man. I wouldn't even have the pants on. I'd have on tighty whities or something, man. I'm like, yo, man, you ain't even got to. Look, hold on, click on this one. Click on that joint. Now that wasn't as bad. At least his arm is in the middle there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't terrible. Now, why didn't that one make the cover?
I don't know, man, but them fucking boot pants is wild, yo.
They are kind of
Them
crazy.
shows is wild as shit.
Yeah, it's like sewn right into the.
Yeah,
fucking
like
soul.
you know how do you even?
hey, where's the
How
other
did you
one?
get that on? Like,
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
Like you have to have a whole lot of just like momentum to get into them pants.
Now that one is not quite as effeminate because of the posture. The other image is the posture and the coloring. It just is.
Coloring? It's the same colors.
Same colors.
Yeah, but it's still not the same posture. The
Yeah,
other
that is-
image is the
In fact,
totality.
you see
Wait,
even more of the.
I think his
pink
lips
on
are
the-
still
on the
puckered
jeans.
too, right?
A little bit.
Is that a gay lip?
A little
pucker?
bit. No legs crossed.
So
Showing
the
more of
legs
the
crossed was a
muscle.
problem?
Showing more of the. It's part
Still
of it.
not wearing a shirt.
Well, showing more of the musculature.
There's two nipples this time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Now, he had both nipples on the last one. It was just he had them like kind of pushed together like this. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know. Where's the other one that we were looking at before the cast where he had like the roses and he was he had like the drawers?
That
and
was
shit?
I didn't bring it on over. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know. There's no way he has those pants.
If Boyce Watkins got a problem with this, you got a problem with anything. So I don't know what to tell you.
This one's not as
Boyce
controversial.
Watkins said that Tyree Nichols.
Yeah, what if that
Should
was
we
like
be mad at the police or for the fact that they killed him, or the fact that
it's totally possible that
that
they
black-
did know
that
each
the
other
black
prior.
on black crime exists? And I was like, Negro, that is the whitest take you can take. Like,
Well-
how didn't you just say he was a leader in Black Thought or something like that? You said something like
He's
that.
real pro-black.
He's pro-black.
Oh, he
Not with
definitely
that.
is.
Not with that commentary. He not.
Why is he not? So all his pro-blackness is gone because he said one comment you didn't agree with? That's debate, bro. Like,
That's
you
not
can't
debate.
vilify a
You made
guy.
video.
You can't vilify a guy
That's
for
not
having a
debate.
different opinion than you.
I
Listen
can
to his
vilify
opinion
him for having
and come
a
to your
wrong
own judgment.
opinion and saying it's right.
I don't know. This cover is not as bad as the other one. Like, not that the other one's bad. It's just, I just thought here she was the bigger star. Like, she's leading the way.
That makes sense.
She totally is the bigger star. Like,
But
who
you
the
don't
fuck knows A$AP
understand,
Rocky?
D. It's because she's taking his masculinity away. See, he's holding a child
I saw a
like
comment.
a woman.
I saw a comment that said,
See, she's leading him like a woman.
I saw. Well,
He's
they
following
could've-
her hand.
They could have also been shoulder to shoulder. It
'Cause
didn't
he's a
have to
woman.
be. Neither one had to be leading the other.
Sorry, he's a woman.
Somebody in the comments did say that he'd be a great stay-at-home dad. I said, yeah, that's kind of what that was. Yeah, follow my way. You move over. You stay at home and take care of the kids. I'll do it.
Yeah.
They could have been shoulder to shoulder, is all
There
I'm
we go.
saying. Like we're here. We're a family unit. Sit next to me. You don't have to be behind me. I don't have to lead the way. We're gonna lead together, and we're gonna start.
Where
She's
they
pregnant
at, though?
again, so now they're gonna have two
Where
kids.
they at? The beach?
Let's lead it together.
Where they going?
Yeah, I don't know where you going with that hot ass leather on. Like you ain't definitely ain't getting that water with that
Oh.
shit.
Guess what? Because it's a fucking photo shoot. None of this shit's real.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
No.
but he's kissing his son and everything. I don't know.
Which we need more of, man. Black love right there, man.
Yeah.
Like black men showing love to their kids.
I
man.
actually didn't have a problem with it
Absolutely.
until I heard boys talk about it. I said, maybe. And then
Like,
he showed the other
fathers
covers.
out there.
But this, I was just like,
Whoever's watching this podcast,
Rihanna's a
kiss
bigger
your son.
star.
Tell him you love him.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
Very important.
my son does sometimes, man. He comes up and like still gives me a hug out of nowhere. He's 11, you know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So I can't be as lovey-dovey on him as I used to be when he was y'all son's age, but I gotta kind of, like,
You gotta hug him back.
yeah, you got to. Yeah, that's like you gotta show affection, man. It's my son, man. He's my best friend.
Yeah.
So the kisses go from like the cheek to like more on the top of your head now. You'll find out as you get older. You got the little, but I can't kiss you on your face as much. Pick up, So like I gotta kiss you on your top of your head, your forehead or something.
Yeah. May not be able to pick them up after a while, but face kisses ain't never gonna stop.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm telling you, man. You be thinking that, man. Like I wish he was still little. How old is your son?
4.
Yeah, I wish he was still 4, man. It's so cute at that age, man. How old is Talib?
3.
See? Wait till they turn 11, fellas. Yeah, you're gonna be like, man, whatever, man. You don't want to know. Well, yeah. They be 11, they're just gonna be their own person then. You know what I mean? Like they're still the same, but they're just their own person.
It's never gonna stop for me.
Like you got to go in there and check on them now, man. You good? Yeah, I'm good. It's in his room and shit.
Yep.
I would like to sleep again. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's good. I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, I guess it's been a pretty long cast, man. I guess we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
Got one due next month, man.
We always end on controversial topics, and that's good. That's good for debate. It's good, man. We should end on controversial topics, man. We always start with the nice media stuff first, movies, video games, whatever we're talking about. Then we move to the more serious topic, which is it's a good way to round it off, man.
We should do more like talk to Boyce Watkins stuff.
We should do more reaction videos, man. I was watching this crazy movie called Fantastic Planet the other day. It's some like French movie, animated, like 1973, but it was like really like stylized and crazy and like stop motion kind of capturing and it was crazy, man. It's a crazy movie, man. We gotta do more reaction videos, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, we should start them Jones at some point. Like that would be dope.
Right.
Yeah. Next.
Yeah, man. Any other thoughts, fellas?
Boyce Watkins is toxic.
Yeah. All right, guys. I guess till next time. Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us. Peace.